3 ex-military robots are reprogrammed as teachers and secretly placed in a school where most students are part of organised gangs. But what happens when they respond violently to unruly students? Find out in Class of 1999. For this is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 125, Class of 1999.
Superman.
Welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 125, where we shine our spotlight on Mark Al Lester's legendary Class of 1999.
I thought you said Mark Al Lester's. It's like, Mark Al what?
Mark Al Lester.
What's Al Lester's?
Yeah, let's not go too near that. Right, but before we shine a spotlight, how's everyone doing? It's been a little while, but we're back again in the studio.
Back. I'm Paul Hawkins.
That's a good point. I'll be your host this evening, Brett Summers, and flying with me on the good ship Cult Faction are
Paul Hawkins
and
Damien Hicks.
So we co-pilots.
Yeah, kind of.
Or air steward.
Can I just be the one that makes the tea? I don't like the idea of being a pilot.
Oh, you want to walk up
It's
and down with the
responsibility.
trolley?
Yeah, I'll have that.
I'll be. I'm up for the pilot.
Go for it.
Yes.
Cool. I'll be the one that sits behind, just pushes the buttons.
You get shot first.
Like Dominic Santini,
You
that one.
Oh no, hold on. It's always the pilot gets shot first,
Yeah,
isn't
damn
it?
right. That's what I want to be
Yeah.
the other one. I don't want to be the pilot.
Yeah.
I'll be the one that saves the day.
Oh, actually, can I
She
just be?
both-
You're the
Any-
dude from Mission Impossible that dies.
Can I not just be the passenger then? That is.
You're Peter Graves. I'm
All right.
Frank
Let's move on. I don't like this game anymore.
I'm playing.
No,
the
you're
other
afraid
one.
of flying. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you pity the fool.
Not anymore.
No?
Just flown too much.
You're over it now, are you?
Give me a glass of wine after takeoff.
Yeah, after all that, he's got all those air miles now. I've just closed my notes.
Says the man that was always flying over to States so he could see the latest episode before it airs in the
damn
UK.
right. But I've got a different job now.
Yeah. The Learjet's gone.
It was market research into schools to how understand this film better at a deeper level.
So the next bit is you ask us what we've been up to and anything
Yeah, the
interesting.
next bit is I try and bring my notes up again because I've just closed them.
No, I'm just
Well,
in the notes. That's what
I
should have been
know.
there.
So yeah, as I say, we've been away a little while, but we've all been up to things. So Paul, what have you been up to? You
Been on my holes,
literally
mate.
jet setted away, didn't you?
Well, yeah, it was technically a jet, and we did set off. So yeah, we went away for 9 nights, or 9 nights, I think, to somewhere in Spain, Mallorca, I think, or Mallorca, whatever they say it.
Were you kidnapped?
Well, no, it's just one of those things. Everyone kept asking me before I went, "Where am I going?" It's like, I don't know. I just paid for it. Yeah, and we did the normal mistake. Well, the eldest did, where she looked online for reviews, and that kind of put her and her girlfriend off. But no, it was fine. We got there. It was nice, all inclusive.
Sounds like some sort of Patrick McGowan, and you're a prisoner in the village, and you don't know where you are.
Well, that's my normal life, Brett.
Fair enough.
No, it was fine. Apart from Mozzies, they were everywhere for the first
Australians.
Mozzies.
Oh, sorry.
Ah, okay.
I
Mosquitoes.
thought were they breakdancing?
Yeah, there was one night, literally, we went to the outside entertainment.
What was it?
We didn't get to that point. This
Oh.
was before it actually came on, where you got the kids club or kiddie disco thing still going on. So we're
I
waiting
love
for
kids
the
because goes.
yeah. Well, we would,
And you were there with your children, just checking.
yeah, but the mosquitoes came on board, and it was like one of those horror films that you'd probably recommend. You know, you half expected one of the mosquitoes to have a shark's mouth or something like that. People running in fear. I took Connor back somewhere. Came back to get like a drink on the way back to the hotel. It was carnage. People literally running for their life. The bartender had gin, like bottle of gin on his arms to ward the mosquitoes off.
That's
It's
just
like,
an excuse.
cool. Cool.
What do you
okay.
think of gin at work? Mosquitoes.
Yeah. So we had a few bad mosquito bites, and that put everyone off actually venturing outside at night times. So, yeah. Other than
They
that,
just go around each other's chalets.
chalets. It's not hidey high. Hello, campers. No,
I just see how insulting he is. I said
Yeah.
chalet.
no,
Chalets, I had a villa.
no. It was a hotel. It was a big old hotel complex. No, so basically we just had
Complex.
the
Yeah.
evening
Parts
meals,
hotel.
and then either got some drinks.
So was it near a body of water? Because that's normally bad for
Yeah.
mosquitoes.
Yeah,
Not,
there's
well,
loads
it's
of
good
like
for them, but
little
bad for
lakes
us.
and canal type things.
That'll do it.
Yeah, but anyway, it's the hotel's fault
So-
for planning it there.
So, have you had time to watch anything?
Would you know what I asked Damien what he's been up to?
No,
In a
obviously not
minute.
interested
I'm
in
going to come
what I've
round
been
to him
doing.
in a minute.
Why
I'm
is,
just
why
saying.
is
He's
he
changing the format.
format?
Just because we're thinking of going fortnightly, he's starting to change
I know.
everything.
Just throwing it out, just saying.
Don't do it.
Was there a
Don't
nice-
mess with the format,
Was there a
Brett.
nice film on the plane? Even like?
No, it's too short. Too short, and it was Ryanair. Jesus, you'd have to give a kidney to be able to watch a film on a Ryanair
Was it not
flight
just the commitments?
on loop. I have been watching something. If we want to,
Okay, well, we'll come back then because everyone wants to know what Damien did.
what's the point in
Yeah.
asking?
Oh, dear. He's lost the plot. That's what it is.
Damien, what have you been doing?
Well,
Say nothing.
yeah.
Just say nothing apart from watching stuff.
No, I went to Butlins.
Hey, Heidi, hi.
Yeah. Although those days are gone. I was quite disappointed, actually. You're just left to your own devices now.
There's no evening
There's no,
entertainment.
they're there, but there's no organised
Like
fun.
the Pet Shop Boys.
I can't imagine you doing organised fun.
No,
You'd
I
just be
wouldn't.
sitting watching people.
But
Yeah,
there-
take the
surely
piss
there's
piss
some,
out of
Yeah.
there's some sort of like super.
Oh, it's the
happy-
home of
Is
entertainment.
there's a groovy gang or some sort of super happy fun club. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
sort of.
Do you not have Stephen Mulhern doing magic tricks?
Yeah, he was. We didn't because Chloe's 3. We went to the they do like a weekly pantomime.
Yeah.
We went to that on like the first or second day, and Chloe just couldn't take sitting still and being. So we're like, well, we're not going to bother booking anything else.
Oh, you have to book the entertainment.
Yeah, it's free because you
Oh,
paid,
yeah,
you
yeah, I
paid
know.
for it, but
Steve
you've still got.
Mulhern,
Obviously, they got
So
capacity.
they know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't you allowed to just go out, chuck him a quid and hit him? Isn't that like his show? In for a pound.
But I assumed whenever I've seen the adverts for it, I thought, oh, they record it once, and then it's on the screen in the auditorium or something.
Yeah.
But it's not. He's actually he's there. So that's quite. And same with they do Masked Singer as well.
Who
And
were the guests?
Don't know because I didn't go to it.
Who
Give you a
hosts
clue.
it?
It was probably
I don't
Dane Bowers.
Didn't see any of. Yeah, it's going to
Dane
be that
Bowers,
sort of.
Paul
Justin.
Paul Danan
No, it's not going to be that bad. I'd imagine
And-
it's more kids
and
orientated.
Honey G.
No, it will be
I
like
forgot
And the
about
Cheeky
Honey G.
Girls.
who's Honey? I don't even know who Honey G is.
She was on one of the reality.
Yeah.
Britain's Got Talent or something. She was.
One of them.
Yeah.
She was also on
the shit I
Celebrity-
don't watch.
She was also on Celebrity Coach Trip.
Oh God. So she's basically doing anything so she doesn't have to pay rent.
Yeah, probably. I think she didn't it come out. She was minted anyway.
I
It
got
was
no
all-
idea what you're fucking talking about. Let alone just look at me. Isn't I don't know. I don't even know.
But was it good?
Yeah.
And was it expensive? Because everywhere in the UK is expensive
Well,
nowadays.
So we did it. We literally almost last minute. It's like 2 weeks before we went.
Yeah.
I think it's about
Sorry,
700.
viewers. We'll get back to Cult Tea. I'm just genuinely interested.
Yeah.
People might want to know.
Yeah.
It was about
Yeah.
700 quid, something like that, for the
That's a
4 of us.
Family
good.
of 4
Yeah.
with
Oh,
parking.
That was in the base, like the only accommodation that was left, which was actually a chalet.
Do you have to pay for meals and stuff? Was that included?
Yes, you got to pay for meals. They do packages where you pay it because we're going to take them back next year because
Yeah.
the kids obviously loved it.
Yeah.
It's like there's a fairground, adventure playground, swimming obviously with
Connor would
flumes
love
and all that. There's all sorts of stuff. None of the kids didn't get bored at all, which normally we'll go to Cornwall even if we went abroad somewhere. They'll get bored eventually because all there is a pool.
They
and
only got bored with Stephen Mulhern.
yeah, well they would have done.
Yeah.
He didn't
No
go.
one can get bored with Stephen Mulhern.
He's
The
a
man's
cheeky
walk-
chappy.
He's a walking activity centre of
Yeah.
humour, fun, and gold jackets and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it was definitely worth that amount of money.
Yeah.
If we're going to book it next year, well, what I plan to do, I haven't done it yet, is go and look how much I spent on food and see if it is actually worthwhile getting a package.
For places nearby.
What do you mean?
You
Oh,
said-
cool, yeah, it's in. It was at the Minehead one. So
oh,
it's,
right, okay.
yeah, it's literally right on the seafront of Minehead. So you
Cool.
walk out and you're in
Beach.
See.
yeah, more or less, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it was cool.
You're going
I did get to meet. I didn't get to meet him. I got to say hello to Optimus Prime. I wasn't going to queue,
Oh, that's right. I saw
yeah,
your
I
picture.
saw that.
Yeah.
but yeah, he gets wheeled out every couple of days,
Aw.
and you can queue to have his picture taken with him. But no, I wasn't doing that.
Shame that the film's bombs and he's been
Exactly. This is
drawn
it.
to
This is
that.
what he's been reduced to
Yeah.
now. Once he was
Yeah.
saving the world, now he's at Butlins. It happens to the best of us, I
That's
guess.
your fault. What was his name? I like explosions in films and all that.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. That's
Yeah.
your fault. Optimus Prime, once of Cybertron, now Butlins.
I will put the Matrix into my chest and sacrifice myself.
Blue coats
Yeah,
transform and roll out.
Stop saying it. Stop saying it, Optimus.
They
Just
still
get on and do it.
A blue coat still a thing?
No. Well, yes, but it's red coats.
Red
Blue coats was Pontins.
Yellow coats.
Yellow coats was Heidi High.
I thought
Hey.
red coats were the ones that hunt foxes.
That's red jackets.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds cool.
What about
though.
yourself? What have you been up
You've
to?
been on holiday again? I
Nope.
know.
Well, I've been
He's
on
had a 6
I've
week
been on
holiday.
the 6-week school holiday, and just up at home. The office is now fully functional, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, you did a bit of DIY, didn't you?
Yeah, well, kind of. I watched it. Yeah, bits around the garden, bits around the house, stuff like that. Really, nothing too exotic, but it was quite nice to just do it at your own pace and chill, and watched a few things, played with the cats. Now got a super fish tank. Thank you, DJ Hammy and Emma. Compliments for Big Frodo.
Oh,
the
yeah,
snail.
the snails, yeah.
Well, the snail now because he absorbed
Oh.
the other three. That's why he's Big Frodo.
Oh, I see. I was not aware of that
Yeah.
fact.
Pippin, Merryweather, and Charlie from Lost are all gone now.
So he's had his second
I did not
breakfast
know
and
they
his
ate each
first
other.
breakfast and his lunch and his...
I don't know. There's not even like a corpse. They're gone. Not like like they're gone and the shell's there. It's like they've been absorbed,
Oh, right.
like a gelatinous cube or
You
something.
sure it's definitely a
He didn't
snail that
escape.
you've got?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's getting bigger now. Now he's got his own little thing and he's moving up and around and stuff. I Halloweened it for him the other day because it's coming and we like Halloween in our house. And I got all the I keep forgetting what it's called. The white fish stuff. Cuttlefish. Cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I broke it up so it looked like all little tombstones all around his.
Oh, okay. I wondered where we were going with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sprinkled it on and no. Yeah. So he's enjoying life. The cats are
I
doing
see
well.
you've gone early on your Halloween stuff, haven't you? I have
The-
noticed. I mean, we've got our Halloween stuff
I've
out
been
the loft.
holding back the tide of Halloween since Christmas. Yes. Some of us are really. I like Halloween, as you know. I'm a big fan of Halloween. Some of us really like Halloween.
I love Halloween.
And the whole, but
We're waiting
Kate-
till October.
but Kate's very much in with because it's all. It goes in with the full season. So as the leaves fall, it's all
Yeah.
part of the
Yeah, I'm same.
tradition of it all and all that, and the the folk and the.
Yeah, no, I
all
don't.
that
I'm
stuff.
not dissing it in any shape or form.
Yeah, so
The only thing about Halloween I don't like is
because
the
we
trick
we
or
have
treat.
a thing on our door. We've got one for every season.
Have you?
And at first I was like, "Where?" There's one for every
Shell's
season.
got an
But
autumn one
they're
and
cool.
and a Christmas one.
Well, she needs advice on what the other ones are.
Yeah.
Just
Does the Green Man come into any of it, or is that?
That would be cool for springtime.
Yeah.
We're not ready to have guests yet, Mr. King. And, but yeah, so just doing a lot of that sort of stuff around the house, and yeah, and bits and bobs really, and finishing off my acupuncture, and now I await the specialist to have a look at my leg, as my knee feels even worse now.
So you're waiting on the NHS referral type thing. So
Well, it's been
Ow.
it's
Sorry.
been a year and doesn't surprise me,
yeah.
to quote George. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But all the people I've been with have been really good and know what they're doing and been very professional. So, but obviously the waiting list is like, I got Oasis tickets quicker than that probably.
You've got you.
No, I haven't.
No.
But I'm not paying money.
I know, Jesus
I
Christ.
didn't go when they were £3.50
No.
to join us. I'm not- but Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's a similar thing, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there was a thing the other day actually on Facebook, and it had 2 front row Oasis tickets looking for a 3-bedroom house with swimming pool.
Oh, I saw one about we'll swap it for a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's been the main sort of stuff. Really, it's been a nice, relaxing pace. Lots of Olympics as well. Got into all sorts of sports I wouldn't ever care about, and now I've since forgotten about. But for those couple of days, I was the biggest expert in that particular sport in the whole world.
There was one at the Paralympics I loved. They basically had
Was it
different.
the blind football? I went to see that when it was at London. It is phenomenal.
No, I missed that.
I quite like the wheelchair rugby. That got a bit heated as well.
So that's
As that
cool.
always does.
I missed out on that, but it was wheelchairs, and they were basically sat in the bit, and they got different balls. Some of them are soft, some of them are hard. They just throw them near like a jack. So it's like boulet or whatever the French call it.
Oh yeah,
It's brilliant. It's like the equivalent of what's the Winter Olympics one, which is
Curling.
curling.
It's like that. I can watch
Oh.
that. I could watch that for days.
So for me, when you no,
no,
they don't.
no.
That would be the
No.
that no.
It's not a Winter Special Olympics, is it?
It's
Yeah.
not Special
Sorry,
Olympics.
Paralympics.
Paralympics.
Yes,
As
right.
it left my mouth, I knew I said it wrong. My
Yeah,
apologies.
there's a Winter
get cancelled.
I'm
Paralympics as
old
well.
now.
Is there?
It must be.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think there is.
Yeah, bound to
Nah,
be.
because Eddie Edwards was in the normal one.
There's nothing wrong with him.
Anyway, let's move on
Before litigation.
yeah.
Nah, he was good. His hit single "Fly Fly" was a classic as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we like you, Eddie D. Edwards.
And there's a circle, fly fly, like Heidi High.
So, but I did want to give a shout out because the British Paralympic team absolutely smashed it. It was like at one point I was like, did anyone else enter? Because it was just like every time you turned on, and I had like 50 more gold medals today.
Yeah, I
And
think they
was
came
like,
second overall, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
apart from China, who have more people than everyone in the whole world anyway. So like, and when they enter someone for everything, they're gonna win more.
That's India, isn't it?
Now China were the winners. of
No,
it
I
all.
know.
No,
but
he meant by population. I think
Yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah,
it
yeah.
is
But, like,
India,
but in
but-
the Olympics, they make sure they have someone in everything.
yeah.
They even have someone sweeping up just in case.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say even if they weren't a Paralympic before, they make sure they've got the numbers.
Yeah, whoever does well in the normal Olympics, they
Yeah.
chop a
Well,
leg
you
off.
never know. yeah. If you don't qualify, guess what you're going to be in 4 years.
He doesn't need a hand for that event, does he? He's running. Let's get rid of it.
But yeah, enough politics.
Yeah.
Right. So apart from the Olympics, what else has people been watching? Paul.
So there's nothing on the flight, but when I got back, I decided, because I'm desperate for new films. So Twisters.
Oh, the sequel,
Yeah.
Twisters.
So I thought I'd give that a go. It's all right. Nothing brilliant. Yeah, Glenn Powell's in it. He was in Top Gun Maverick and a load of other stuff. It's one of those ones. If you just want a bit of action, want to watch people get swept up by big hurricanes, it's all right. Meh.
I've never even seen the first one.
So in the first one, there's a lot of
Helen Hunter and
there's a lot of hurricanes. People get swept up by them.
But a lot of it was about the effects in the first one, wasn't it? In like where they were doing like the chasing of the storm, and you could
So
see
they're
it
doing-
and all that.
So they're still doing chasing, but you've got but it's a bit deeper than that. You've got this
It's not like
scientist.
the same storms come back as revenge or something, isn't
Ooh,
it?
that would be
They're
good.
like
That-
Jaws
All
3,
I'm
the
going to say
revenge.
is you wouldn't have had Twisters without Sharknado.
Well, I probably would have.
All like storms.
but
If
yeah,
you've got
there's-
sharks in, it's a bonus.
The scientist is trying to find I was going to say a cure for tornadoes. She's trying to stop them.
Sounds a lot like Sharknado to me.
And you got Glenn Powell, who's a proper storm chaser. And lo and behold, the good-looking female scientist and Glenn Powell start off as enemies, but they get together.
They're just so opposite; they'll just never work out.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
But yeah, it's an alright action film.
Christmas at Dollywood all over again.
Although saying that, it's not as good as Unbreakable's YouTube video where they go hunting for hurricanes. All they do is sit in a truck for about 2 weeks. But I was watching that with Connor, and I thought, yeah, I could watch that. it must have been boring as hell for them for 2 weeks, other than like
So the
being
bit where they got
face
caught
to
up
face with death. But yeah. Anyway, so that's Twisters. Wait until it comes out on the Skies or whatever for
something you have to
free.
pay for it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Damien, what you been watching?
Well, not a lot really. Got to be honest. 'Cause the TV reception wasn't great in Butlins, which is no surprise. I did start watching that Evil you keep talking about.
Yes.
Oh, that's the one I forgot about.
Go on.
Well, it's all right.
That's what I'm saying. You got it. Rolls
I'm
on.
5.
How
what?
many episodes you done?
All of them.
5, I think.
Oh, it's about half. Yeah.
5, maybe 6. I'm not convinced by the woman playing the lead. Doesn't seem to have the acting chops to carry off.
Oh, it comes out
Does it?
as it goes along. Yeah.
She's just currently not very good. She doesn't have. I don't know. There's something about her. Doesn't have the
It's one
gravitas
of them,
to carry the show.
It's one of them, I would say wait till the end of the season. Then it kind of. I think it's. I would say it's almost very domestic. I think on purpose initially. You know, I'm a mum. I've got kids.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about her as an actress. I just don't think she does. She's a bit wooden.
Yeah, but I think that's what she's playing. She's playing TV in that initial sort of bit. I think she's sort of playing TV mum,
Okay.
and then later on when things.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going
Yeah.
to not watch it. It's five seasons worth. So,
Yeah.
and when there's not a lot else to watch, it's I'm going to stick with it. But
I said for me,
and plus her decision making, the character's decision making gets right on my fucking tits.
Just on that though, remember Slow Horses is coming back now.
Yeah, that's
It's
started.
just started.
Yeah.
it's this week, I believe. I still need to watch that.
But
That
they'll
was
do
on my
about
list.
2 episodes and then they'll go
Yeah, I
weekly,
know.
won't they?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait. Yeah, it's like, tell him that you're seeing this demon. Just fucking tell him. Tell him that Ben from Lost keeps coming to your house. Don't keep it from him.
But how good is Ben from Lost?
Yeah, but he's good in everything he does.
Yeah.
Well, when he
No.
plays that sort of character,
Character.
I've only ever seen him play that sort of
Okay,
character.
yeah,
But-
but it's just he can turn it up. It's like in this one, they're like, just fucking go for it,
Yeah,
and he's like, yeah,
and Monsignor guy, he's cool.
yeah.
And I've seen him in a few other things. He's got his acting chops. And the black fella, he's good. Andrew, is that his name in the Andy? Oh, whatever his
Yeah.
name is. He's good.
And the other, well, they're all,
And the
Ben,
skeptic
yeah.
guy's good. Just her. Something about she just annoys me. The character annoys me, and her kind
Oh,
of.
the character does become quite annoying.
And plus, they never
they-
actually explain any. I some things you can like. Oh, let's not resolve
yeah,
the monster of the week, but to do that every fucking episode.
yeah, but that's what people want now, isn't it? No, because you're not going. Oh, it was. And then later on, things become a bit clearer on why things might be happening and things like that. But it is that kind of. It's the uncanny response, I guess. That's the thing now. You want the people going, yeah, it was a demon, and you want the people going, no, actually, he had a
That's fine,
psychological avergence to.
but kind of every now and then drop in a resolved case.
Yeah.
Don't leave every single one of them.
There will.
It's like Scooby Doo not pulling the mask off
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. What was the? I don't want to say. I'm trying to think where you would. What was the one you're up to?
I'm up to where when they start piecing together the sigils. So they got
Yeah.
the
the map thing
the
from
map thing from
from
the
the-
500-year-old document that no one's ever seen before. And they're just starting to realise that there's sigils on these maps, and he recognises one of them from a book.
Yeah.
That's all. I won't say any more because no one else. If you haven't seen it, then that's
But
a
have you
bit
seen
of a reveal.
Who he?
I've not. Yes, I have. But what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he realises he's seen that sigil before somewhere in a book.
Yeah, no, that was good. That's where it starts to go down the rabbit hole a bit more. So I would say you kind of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna not watch it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
it's
just saying, but like you're at the bit now where it
it
starts
just needs
to, get,
to up its game.
Yeah, this is where it starts to, because it's almost like you can almost see it in shows now. You know, like when like, hey, the network guys stop coming around now. Let's just do what we want to do now. You know, you can almost see it like we're 3 episodes in. They've stopped taking notes now. Go, and it's like, and it's a shame, but I guess that's TV in America, more or less.
Yeah, when you've got to make 10 episodes a season, I guess you can't do. You have to
Pace yourself.
you have to thin out the
Yeah.
story of
I
it.
mean, I'm
But
just
we don't
glad-
do in the UK. This what we've just. I'm 5 episodes in. I would be the next episode would be the last episode.
Yeah.
yeah,
that
that'll
gives
be
you
it
the-
done. Yeah.
The next bit for the next season.
Well, you think back now, even like 10, 15 years ago, it was like 23 episodes
Yeah, I
a
know,
season,
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it? And
Flash
stuff
forward.
Like Lost, X-Files, all that stuff, and it was like, write more.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're really ruining the story now. It doesn't matter.
What about you, Summers? What have you been watching?
I've been watching a wide cross-section of things, actually. There's a really cool film I recently reviewed for Cult Faction called Lore, Lore.
Yeah, Law.
And,
Like folklore without the folk at the front.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's just coming out. The
So
full-
before we go any further, is this anything to do with the podcast and subsequent? I think it's Amazon Prime TV show, or is this just happened to share the name?
As far as I know, it had nothing. None of that was mentioned in any of the press stuff.
Okay,
that
so it
I
just
read
happens to share the same
in
name.
before. Yeah, and it was directed by James Bush, Patrick Michael Ryder, and I want to say Greg Johnson, but it's Greg with Greig, or is it Greg or is it Greg?
Say Greg.
It's Greg, yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Greg. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, as you retweet this. So basically, it's a horror anthology film, and you've got those kind of ancient myths and contemporary horror things all taking place in it. And it starts off, you've got 4 friends who are going on like a sort of camping, hiking adventure type thing, and they're all arriving.
So far, so cliche.
yeah,
but carry on.
but that's.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying.
But that's kind of what it's going for. And then they meet the really creepy, hikey bloke that they meet, who's a bloke called Darwin. I don't know if that's relevant. But played by Richard Brake, who I recognise him straight away. But he was the Night King in Game of Thrones. He was the guy under all that. And also he is just, whenever there's like a kind of creepy, weird British guy, it's him. Sort of thing. And he informs our Intrepid 4 that all the other guests have cancelled that were coming on this big hikey trip thing. And they're the only there, so they need to go and set up camp for the night. So like, oh, okay, it's only us. Oh, that's right, it's just us then. Oh. And basically the rest of the film is them setting up camp, and then they sit around the campfire, and he tells them this thing about, they've got to tell a horror story, and he gives them like these little wooden totems. So I'm just turning to the cameras now. Give them these little wooden totems.
I love the fact that he said the totems. It's like there's no totem in your hand,
Yeah.
bro.
No, I'm just showing them the.
I thought he was going to pull one out of his pocket.
Yeah.
If you'd like to,
I'm
see,
not talking about horror stories, but
If you'd like to see the
Everyone
approximate
hold the
size of
totem.
the little wooden totem, check it out on YouTube as I model it with my hand.
so like
And,
size
for
of a
listeners, it's about 2 inches.
Stormtrooper, Star Wars
Yeah.
figure.
And
Original,
basically,
the-
they chuck that
yeah.
on the fire whilst they're telling their story,
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
it burns while they tell it. And the first story, but so basically, then you get each one of them tells a different story to try and scare the others. The first one is called Shadows, and the main guys in it. You've got Andrew Lee Potts from the dinosaur thing
Yeah,
with S7.
Evil.
Prehistoric, no.
Yeah, it was prehistoric. No. Either way, it was good until it
Yeah.
went shit.
He's in that, and he was the Mad Hatter in that weird Alice in Wonderland thing they'd done as well. He's really good in that. And it's him, a guy called Bill Fellows, who you will
Hang on, are you gonna run
recognise,
through the characters
and,
on every-
pretty much, I'm just reading my notes. And Daniel John Williams. So that's the first story, and it's about, like, he's being chased by some gang guys because he owes some money, and something happens to them, or does it, etc. Kind of what's that in the shadows type thing, and there's a bit of a twist at the end. The second story is called The Hidden Woman, and it involves, it's your classic sort of, basically your
Your
woman,
hitchhiker.
woman in black kind
Oh,
of thing,
okay.
go into the house to sort out the business. Is there a ghost there or not? It's Jennifer K. Preston. and that's quite freaky as well. Then there's one called Cross Your Heart, which is a different type of story again. You've got a married couple, Katie Sheridan and Rufus Hound, and they're celebrating their anniversary at this cheap hotel. And I think it's like a weekend for swingers, because Steve wants to try swinging Rufus Hound for their anniversary, and they
Sounds more like an episode from Inside Number 9.
Yeah.
well, no, it is very much. That's what I say. They're all, because they're all different. They're all very different tonage and that. And that it was very sort of Inside Number 9, and the couple that they meet up to swing with.
It's a British film.
Yeah, and there's a twist, obviously. That's really good. Rufus Hound again.
I like
does
him.
seem to be a very, very good actor in what I see him in. I do like. Yeah.
He was in Doctors last year or the year
Was
before.
he?
Yeah.
Then
Cool.
there's a story called The Keychain Man, which is basically this is your sort of
Was that me in the 90s where I had all my South Park
yeah.
key rings?
This is more your.
I used to like them.
This is going into your Shaun of the Dead sort of territory. You know, these sort of horror comedy, Rumbob Zombie-con, whatever you want to call it. And it's you got three friends who are going to the cinema, and you got the whole geeky speak conversation. You go, this and that. And what's the sequel? Blah,
Did they
blah,
maybe
blah.
go to a Mexican restaurant beforehand and get put in a booth?
No, they didn't. And we witness them. They go in the cinema and they meet a bloke called. There's a guy called Gareth who works behind the counter, and they do the whole like Naked Gun thing where he's so big you can't see his head and all that. And then Gareth ends up having a bad night and getting sacked, and then goes on like a killing rampage while they're sat there watching the film. And it's sort of like then it turns into like a slasher, and he's chasing them round and all that sort of thing. And but that's probably my favourite one out of all of them because, as I say, it's very Shaun of the Dead, that sort of thing, and probably the most, as I put in the review, it's probably the most accessible to anyone if just watching one. That would probably be the one everyone liked, because the other ones, as I say, you've got your sort of Inside Number 9's twisty psychological one. You've got your Woman in Black horror-y type one, classic horror. Then you've got your sort of mystery, what's going on, is it not, how do you interpret it kind of one. And then you get then it goes back to the campfire and all the people sort of sat there, and then it goes back to the morning, and then when they
You're not going to tell the whole film.
more
I did ask that, and he said yes.
yeah.
Because
Well, no, I won't. But when they wake up, the creepy man Darwin has gone, and like he's like, "Oh, my watch is gone, or my phone's gone," and they've all missing.
my kidney's
something.
gone.
And then, without giving too much away, basically, in
There's not much left.
No.
No, I haven't told you all the things that happen in stories. But what I liked about it was in Spoiler Bell.
No, I don't want a spoiler. I might want to watch this.
Okay,
same
you would
here.
want to watch it. Okay, well, there's a little bit at the end that makes all the stories a lot more interesting, and gives a very, very weird but cool spin on the whole thing altogether.
Right, so how about we just say, if
And
people
I-
want to learn more, go to the
And if people
website.
want to learn more, the full
Watch the
review is
film.
on cultfaction.com. And
But
Law,
in your full review, do you give away the end?
and a little bit.
Yes.
Law,
Don't do it.
Law can be seen exclusively on the Icon Film channel, and you can sign up for a 7-day free trial at iconfilmchannel.uk or via the Icon Film channel on Amazon Prime. And it's due to hit select cinemas across the UK from the 27th of September, and will be available on home entertainment from the 21st of October 2024.
No, that's not too far away, is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, Lore, Lore. Have a look. You'll like it.
I don't doubt that, but I'm not going to read your review.
Oh,
No,
don't-
no, if it spoils it.
No.
No, it doesn't.
So out of 10, what did you give it?
I gave it. I think I gave it a 7 out of 10
All right, okay, cool.
because
Cool.
my main gripe with it is, and it's always the same with anthologies, I want a bit more in the stories. You know, like where you can see there's opportunities like how you can make these stories better, but where they've got to fit them all into sort of 90 minutes, it kind of sometimes things get a bit rushed. When over a real film, it would have been a while before you get that revelation. And
Yeah.
it's but that is what it is with anthologies.
But that just
Swings and
it
roundabouts.
depends how they're done, because
Yeah.
you know your original short form ghost story is short. That's the point of it. It's like da-da-da. It's beginning, middle, scare at the end. So if and that works
sort of
when it's in your head, but it doesn't necessarily work when you do it.
The last person on earth is sitting in his chair. The doorbell goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I could hear the
They can be
children.
short.
I could hear the children downstairs. We don't have any kids. That's
Yeah. No. I get all that, but it was just like there's just a couple of bits. It's just sort of. I thought if it was fleshed out a little bit more, it would have had more of an impact. Not all the stories. There's a couple of them where it was acted really well, but it was over before it began, and it kind of. If it was a bit longer, it would have had a bit more of an impact.
Oh, cool. We've got 7 out of 10. It's not bad.
No, not bad at all.
So that's one of the things I watched.
I've got this more.
Back to you, Paul. Back to you, Paul.
Right, so Rings of Power Season 2. This last thing I'm going to be speaking about tonight, like Forrest Gump.
Well, I've actually got more than you to talk about.
Yeah. Brett's taken up all my time. Rings of Power Season 2, like Season 1, I think the Twitter sphere's divided. I'm divided on the inside. It's one of those things where it's, to quote, it's doing so much for what could be possible on TV. With in one hand, it's like it's got millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of pounds per episode or whatever it is. It looks stunning. But at the same time, it's like you're kind of missing the point. I mean,
basically, is it Kelly Brook? It's stunning, looks good out, but just misses the point. And that's like
I wondered where you're going with that. I'm just a bit tired of them not revealing stuff. I mean, is it Gandalf or is it not Gandalf? I mean, he's saying, when in doubt, follow your nose. But if it's Gandalf now, we're 2 seasons in, just come out with it. Bloody hell.
I thought it was the baddie.
No, Sauron. Oh, no, Sauron's someone else. So yeah, he's come on and tried to rally the orcs, tried to force the orcs, but he's currently being decimated and coming back to life in his grisly form. But yeah, it just feels like it's meandering,
I've got no interest in it whatsoever. So
it's just I can see why they want to drag it out, but at the same time, how many seasons are they going to make? And at the moment, it still doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Has he made the rings yet?
He's made some of the rings, yeah. Well, some of the.
You got a while yet then.
Well, yeah, but you also don't know from the books where they're intending on the Rings of Power to end. Are they going to take it right up to Mordor, where he has his?
I'm imagining so.
Has his finger cut off, because.
I imagine that'll be the end of it, but if they can get that far, or if they don't and it gets cancelled before then, they'll go, this is where we wanted to end it.
Yeah, the problem is I don't know too much about the backstory in the Silmarillion, whatever it was, to say, oh, we're here now, there's only 5 years to go. It could be another bloody 1,000 with Tolkien, But, yeah.
By all accounts, a lot of the annoyance is how much most of this is made up. I don't know. Is Lenny Henry still in it? Or have they killed him off yet?
No, he's gone.
Oh.
As I said, I don't mind it too much. I don't hate it. I carry on watching it. It's like I'm glutton for punishment, but I enjoy it too at the same time. I think I'm battling with myself more than anything else. Maybe I've got one of the Rings of Power, and I'm trying to be on the right side. But yeah, you two aren't going to watch it. But
no,
I tried watching the first. I fell asleep both times.
Yeah, there is some good fight scenes in this as well, but no, I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I think it'll, when the season
1.5 seasons in and you're still on the fence.
Yeah, no,
it's not a good sign, is it?
Yeah.
Well, no, but I think
if this wasn't Lord of the Rings now, you'd have bailed, wouldn't you? But you're hoping.
Yeah. So
what did you say?
Potentially, like Wheel of Time. I'm not fussed about that. I'm probably not going to go back to it. He says. But I think with this one, it will be once the last episode's aired. Do I then go? No, actually, that was cool. Or what a pile of Anyway.
So you're still hoping for that big twist in the tail that'll pull you back in.
Well, not twist. Is it elongated to tell a story in a way that one film or 3 films or however many seasons just couldn't do?
But didn't they do it all in about a 1 minute flashback scene that looked really cool in the films?
Oh no. Well, yeah, kind of. But
There we go. That's all I
but
need
this
to
is
watch.
they didn't really look into Sauron's past or Gandalf's
Yeah,
past.
but all we
and all
needed
that
to
kind of
know
good
was
stuff.
that he was really, really, really evil.
So there you go. But as I said, I'm going to carry on watching it and make up my mind.
No,
Probably
mate,
once I
fair
finish
enough.
the last episode ever.
Damien.
Okay, so something I watched on ITV, so
Ooh.
mundane terrestrial TV, Platform 7.
Oh, yes. I, too, have watched this
Oh, okay.
and reviewed it
Oh, did you?
on cultfaction.com.
Oh, don't let him speak because
Oh, won't.
tell me what it's about.
You talk.
No, I don't. I'm trying to get the bloody who's in it and whatnot up on the screen, but for some reason, everything just takes me to fucking ITVX to log in. I don't care that it's the freshest new streaming shite. I just want the bloody list of there we go. IMDb. Right. So basic premise is, and this isn't giving anything away because this is like the first
Cool.
5 minutes of
I
the
can deal with
first
that.
episode. So it opens up. It's on a platform of a train station, hence Platform 7. For a few minutes, it just kind of follows this girl around. It's at night, and it follows this girl around as she walks between offices and like security guards and whatnot are talking, and then she walks through a door, as in
Through a door.
Through a door.
All right.
right. And then there's a suicide at the train station, but she's shouting to stop him. From
Was she
doing
there
it.
for 5 minutes with a little penny trying to get out the door?
No.
And Whoopi
Can't do
Goldberg
it. She
just
can't do
following
any of
her
that
around.
stuff. But then as the series progresses, she thinks she was classed as a suicide when she got hit by a train. Hence, she's haunting the platform. She's there.
Yeah.
She's not haunting it. No one can see her or she doesn't do anything. But she's living under the premise that she jumped and that's why she's stuck at the train station. But then as the series progresses, it becomes clear that she didn't jump.
Yeah.
And then it's about her investigating what happened
To her.
in the lead up to her falling off.
Is that a bit? Wasn't there a film like The Lucky Bones or whatever it was? Where
There's a film called The Lovely Bones. I don't
Lovely
know if
Lonely
that's-
Bones, isn't it? Or some,
whatever
I
it
don't
is. But isn't that the same kind of thing where she
Dunno,
has to
not
come back
seen it.
and find a killer or whatever?
Don't know.
I
I mean,
don't know.
it's
I
a
haven't
trope.
seen that one either.
It's in a lot of. There's been a lot of
Is it
films
good though?
and stuff about that.
Hold on, how
It's-
many episodes have you watched them all?
All of them. I think there's only 6. It's UK,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like 6 episodes based on a book of the same name.
about half an hour an episode, isn't it? Something like that.
Bit more. Well, no, it's 45 minutes if you take the adverts out, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's a good drama. Nothing original,
Yeah.
other than that it's from the point of view of a ghost rather than.
I got
There's
more
theory
annoyed
in-
as it went on.
Yeah, me too. But
Ghost Lives Matter.
they do. But the story it's telling, I guess, is prevalent in today's society and needs to be told. But still isn't anything original. The only original slant on it is that this person is dead.
Mm. I would say that once that story was basically told, that was enough for it to move on, rather than
Yeah.
spend like maybe
There was like a whole episode. That's
going
right.
over
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah.
Because it was like once we got it, we got it.
Yeah.
Does that
Exactly,
make sense?
and you
I'm
get
trying
that.
not to give anything away.
You get
Right.
it before that episode
Yeah,
as well.
and you kind of get and then like, but did we need? Because that whole episode, if that's the only one you watch, you didn't even get the fact that she was
No.
a ghost or anything. 'cause
No,
it's just-
exactly. 100%.
yeah,
agree.
and then it was like, so I feel it could have been an episode. I think that's where it lost. For me, it lost out on the pacing then,
Yeah.
because I quite like I quite like the leveling up. I thought that was cool
Yeah.
and all that, but that whole bit I was just like, no, come on.
Yeah. Get on with the rest of it
Yeah.
now. 'Cause
We
that
get
could have done,
it.
you could have had 20 minutes of that and then
Yeah,
progressed again.
we
You didn't
get
need
it.
that whole
We
episode.
Get it.
Yeah.
And but then I don't want to make light of those situations either.
That's what I mean. It's
And
a
I
story that needs to be
understand
told
it,
because
but
it
definitely. But it did. It told it and told it and told
yeah,
it.
there's like with a sledgehammer
Yeah.
rather than just letting the
I
audience.
like the side story as well with I can't think of the actor's name now. He's in Quadrophenia and loads of other things.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
in lots of things. Really good actor, and
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now.
But his sort of side story I thought was quite good
Davis,
as well.
no,
Yeah, Phil Davis.
yeah,
Or Davies, maybe.
Phil Davis.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's good in everything He was good in. Did anyone ever watch that ridiculous premised sort of detective, really dark, Whitechapel? Which was
yeah,
not Reese.
Reese Shearsmith.
It was
the
Reese
Yeah.
Shearsmith, wasn't it? I always get the names mixed up. Phil Davis was in that, and it's that Whitechapel was good, even though it was just bloody stupid. But they did go do some really dark
I need
things
to
in
watch that again, actually, 'cause I don't think I think I saw one and then
They only did about 2 or 3 seasons.
I had them recorded on the box and then never got round to them type thing.
Yeah, I mean there is one it even sticks with me now, even though what you think you see isn't what you think you've seen. Without, because again, if you haven't watched it, I don't want to. But anyway,
more than meets the eyes.
yeah. But Platform 7, for a different concept on what essentially is a bog standard drama, was actually quite good.
Cool.
And it was made. It's that thing in it. It was made for a mainstream audience. It wasn't made for the horror connoisseur.
No, it's not
as such,
horror in any way, shape, or form.
Or supernatural concept. It was a like you say, it's a mainstream drama with a twist on it to try and that's the only reason I would have watched it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, yeah. It's me. Excuse me. Right, new film on Netflix.
Ooh.
The Deliverance.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of hype
that.
about this.
I watched that last night.
Yeah.
Just forgot about it.
It is basically you've got just speaking bluntly, because it's what they say in it. Really, you've got the sort of poor black.
I wondered where you were going with
So
that.
did I. I was a bit worried then.
Because they do refer to themselves as
with two sons and a daughter. The oldest son is the one from Stranger Things. And live in the she's sort of a bit of a drunk and has a beating up her kids and things. That's sort of hinted at and abused. They've all got bruises and like the daughter's got like cigarette burns down her arm and stuff and all that sort of thing. And she's sort of struggling to keep it together. And the kids, Glenn Close is her mum. And they move into a new house. And basically, what's that noise? Is it haunted?
Why there flies?
Yeah, why there flies? And obviously, there's something.
Sounds like Amateurville.
There's pretty much.
Who are you talking to, Johnny? I've told you not to talk to yourself.
Yeah, and all that.
Now get in the fucking house.
The usual haunted house things with a sort of an urban spin on it, but they play it well. It's acted very well.
Yeah.
She really does look like, because 1 minute she kind of does look like sort of the glamorous mum when she's going out, then she does look like a complete bag of shit in the next one because she needs, she does play it well, and the social worker is very good as well. Monique is the actress who plays the social worker. And the whole, the thing is, everything you expect to happen does happen.
Yeah.
But it's based on a true story, which, if you do look it up, has been debunked by everyone. But it's a really good film, and it's a interesting way of doing some of the things in it. But it is your haunted house exorcism story, really, but really well acted and some really nice scenes and some quite creepy bits too.
The one thing I liked about it is it's not your atypical nice family moves into a neighborhood. It's,
she's a very, very flawed person.
Yeah.
And, and when the kids do start getting abused by it, they think it's her doing it because she's done it before and that sort of thing. And Glenn Close as the mum is kind of a weird added sort of bit to it as well with her battles and stuff.
The one thing I did find really weird is where they're all nice as pie to each other 1 minute and then literally the next second they're just effing and jeffing and...
Yeah, well, that's families.
Yeah, I know, but not like that.
You want to spend an hour in our house. Oh.
Yeah. But
those girls turn the air blue.
But definitely, I think if
Although
you...
saying that, I do think Chloe said, "Oh, for fuck's sake," the other day when she dropped something. She's 3.
But yeah, if you do like your sort of exorcism-y, haunted house type stuff, it's up there with all those.
Okay.
But there does seem to be, I'd say the only downside is, I mean, there seems to be a lot of that at the moment. But
Yeah.
that must be in
There
vogue.
always
Well,
is,
it's a
though.
trend,
Always
isn't it?
is.
All
Yeah.
these things, they peaks and troughs and trends and etc. etc.
But yeah, definitely well acted and worth a watch. So even if it maybe runs out of steam a little bit towards the end,
Cool.
or speeds again. I think if anything, it speeds up a bit quick at the end to get it all tied up and tight. You know, it's a very nice pace all the way through, and then it sort of.
He's all about his pace over these last couple of weeks,
it's the
isn't he?
same. It's the same. It's the what I used to call like the charmed ending, where there'd be this bit all the way through, and then they go, "Wait a minute, why don't we just cast a spell? Oh yeah, we're witches."
Yeah.
And then they do a spell, and everything's all right. And it's like in the last 5 minutes, and it's like you could have done that 40 minutes
Yeah.
ago.
And that sort of thing's all right if you've kind of done a little signpost to it
I mean,
30 minutes in.
it,
You know, like,
it does, but I don't know. I just wanted a bit more at the end, but it still works. What it is, that's just me.
fair enough.
Back to you.
No, that's it. I forgot about Deliverance.
Okay, so I've got 2 more things then. So I'm going to go to a radio drama
Ooh.
on BBC Sounds. So now it's called a it's called a podcast, but 3 years ago these things were just radio dramas that you could listen to on the radio
Is
player
it a
app.
drama is an audio book?
Nope, it's a drama.
Is it an audio drama?
Yeah, it's an audio drama.
Yeah, because it's on the radio podcast thing. You just
Yeah.
No, but they're
No.
all. When you look it up, they've got them all listed as genres now. It's like,
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry.
so this is The Skies Are Watching. The basic premise, without giving, I won't give anything away, I'll just give you the basic premise is, so I don't know if you remember, I think it was probably around this time last year or maybe the year before, there was like this viral video of this woman on a plane going mental. I'm just going to say it, going mental, like, I don't know what I'm doing, why am I here, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Yeah. So what they've done is they've taken that, and the basic premise is for her in this story is that there's been a viral video. This woman wakes up on a plane, no idea who she is, etc. And then her memory comes back a little bit,
We've all done
and she's I can't remember the names now, but she's Dolores Johnson. And she went missing in like 1925, and now she's suddenly reappeared on this plane in 2023.
But like the 4400 sort of thing.
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I haven't seen. No, I'm thinking of Manifest.
The original series, anyway.
I can't remember. So she looks like a woman that went missing a year ago, and then it's the journey of the family and various people trying to work out what's happening, who she is,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Oh, cool.
It's quite a well presented story. The ending is a little bit shit, to be fair, but it's still it's only because of what you expect.
How long is it?
There's only 5 episodes, each about half an hour.
Okay.
But its sticking point is the best thing about it is Jake the Snake Roberts
Hey,
is
the legend himself.
is in it,
cool.
and he's not just for like one episode. He's a major character for a couple of episodes.
I'll
So,
definitely have to listen to that then.
so that's worth a listen. It's on BBC Sounds.
I always remember. So I've got to get this in now.
Go on then.
Southampton Guildhall, you're at a show tonight and Jake the Snake Roberts is on it. I was like, oh my god, Jake the Snake Roberts is on the show I'm on. And I was only in the Royal Rumble, but hey, like, and like,
Hey, stop hugging me, kid.
no, it was like Jake the Snake Roberts is here, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. But this was Jake the Snake Roberts in the late '90s when he was on his sort of downfall period, and he'd left America and was living in this country. And we found out later on. I think there'd been some sort of. I think he was wanted in America. I think he may have accidentally hit someone with his car and left the scene of the crime, and
Allegedly.
or something like allegedly. No, I think he's been done for it now. But yeah, so anyway, I'm like, well, anyway, I didn't know that at the time. Like, it's Jake the Snake, he's wrestler legend, so a
Yeah.
wrestler. This is going to be cool. And I walked in, and I was like, and there he is. I was like, oh my god, Jake the Snake's coming towards me. He's like, hey buddy, got $40. Like, Jake the Snake wants about $40 off me. I haven't got it.
I think Burrow's doing a bit of the heavy lifting there.
I was well aware of Jake's, and I was like, okay, no, sorry, man. He goes, okay, nice to meet you, kid. Shook hand and went to, hey, buddy, got $40. And
Didn't we book him? Didn't we have him over?
No, we didn't.
Are you sure?
He was over here, but we never booked him. I wouldn't have ever trusted him to turn up because he was
Sure we did.
He also got a little bit of a reputation for taking the money for bookings and not appearing.
Okay.
Or taking free bookings and then appearing for none of them all on the same night in different parts of the country.
Why do I remember? I'm sure it was Jake the Snake. Literally, either Oasis Academy, that one. It wasn't the Masonic Lodge. It was definitely that one. And he's literally just kind of sat in a chair.
He may have even just turned up and watched.
Maybe.
You know, he was one of those who was around then. And
because we had the Bushwhackers, didn't we?
Yeah, Bushwhackers come over. Oh no, Jake came over and wrestled. He didn't do one of our shows, but you think you came to one when he was at
Maybe
the show.
that's how I.
Yeah, that's how you might remember it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like the Bushwhackers, Honky Tonk Man, and all that, and he was just like, yeah, and he wasn't in the best way, but he sorted himself out now because then just realised he was basically going around asking everyone money for crack. But yeah, he's turned it around now. You can see the resurrections of Jake the Snake Roberts on, I think it's on Amazon. It's a good watch, even if you don't like wrestling. Cause
well, it was funny because when he appeared, I didn't read any of this. I literally just read the synopsis of the show and thought, I'll give that a listen to. And I was like, I recognise that voice. It's like, no, it can't be him because he got a very distinct voice, isn't he, from his wrestling days anyway. So it's like, nah, can't be. And then it came out the so and so was played by blah 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 blah. Jake the Snake. Oh.
He is. I would say he'd be one of those guys. If he was like in his prime now, I could see him doing very well in the movies.
Yeah.
The kind of
now that we've moved,
because back then, you know, it was all sort of Schwarzenegger types, and he wasn't. He was never that. He was more your kind of Hannibal Lecter type, really. And I think now with all the different, you know, like the creepy, sadistic villain rather than like the bodybuilding hero or whatever it was. Or, you know, I think I could see him in some kind of
Oscar-winning performance.
Yeah, probably would be because he was, you know, he's one. You know, there's a reason people remember him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's sort of. But yeah, that's cool. What was that called again? Sorry, that's
The Skies Are Watching.
The Skies Are Watching on BBC Sounds.
Yeah.
And is that just on? Because some things are only on BBC Sounds now, aren't
I
they?
don't know. Actually, well, no, because I've just Googled it and I've come up to on the Internet Archive, wherever that is, and the 5 episodes you can play them from that.
Oh, cool.
So
there you go, then, peeps.
But it would be still probably easier to go on the BBC Sounds app and listen to it there. And you got anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make this my last one today because I've been watching all the usual things that are on as well. But I've just finished. Well, there's been 2 episodes. I think that's it, and it's called Wise Guy, David Chase and the Sopranos, and it's a documentary. Well, about David Chase and the Sopranos.
No shit.
I thought it might
but
be.
it's very much like half of the first episode is just about David Chase and how he is, and how his life, and how he grew up, and then into how the things like his career, then into how the Sopranos came about, and how like HBO, who at that point were live boxing and sports and a few music things and concerts, and then wanted to get into TV, and I think at that point their biggest hit had been Oz, the prison drama thing, and they were just trying to get things in. And basically, they came in, they went, well, he wants to do this. And the Sopranos had actually been to pretty much every other network by that point, and they'd said no. And also, they'd made him take out all the bits where people got killed, because you couldn't get killed in network TV. And like they wouldn't do it. He said I went to all the major networks and Fox. He said documentary, which just made me laugh. And then HBO were like, yeah, you can do that and you can kill people. And he was like, cool. So he then had to go back and rewrite all the scripts again because he took all the bits out and he got what he wanted. And then it just goes over that, and then how You see a lot of like the audition tapes of different people that went for different roles and things as well, and it's really good. If you're into your Sopranos, this is like a holy grail. You get all the behind the scene. Lots of the people in it are talking about things, what went right, what went wrong, who got on, who didn't, when things, all little nice little trivia bits and behind the scenes, and when people hated each other and when they didn't, and there's all sorts of stuff. And over the 2 episodes, but then also if you're someone who's into like the behind the scenes stuff, or if you're trying to write a film or a TV series, whatever yourself, I think it's a very good, honest lesson by him, because there's a lot about like handing over, like having a writer's room and handing over like your creation so that someone else writing it, and maybe he didn't let them do enough, maybe he held it too tightly, and there's all that sort of thing as well, and people would quit the show as writers because he'd done this to them. Or there was one bit where they'd sat there for 2 days and planned out the whole next season. They had whiteboards on the wall, and then he came in on the 3rd morning, wiped it all off and said it was bullshit and they needed to do it again. And stuff like that, and everyone sat there going like, we just spent 2 days, like 15-hour days doing that. And he goes.
Well, you're still getting paid, so fuck it.
That's when he goes through his processes as well. And there's a bit with James Gandolfini, because there's a lot about how like the pressure of like carrying the show got to him as it went along. And there's like a bit where he was going to quit, and then he went out for a drink with what's his name, Steve Van Zandt, or Seal from the show, Bruce Springsteen's guitar, and he's like, dude, like you got 100 people counting on you to feed their families and all that. He goes, you can't just quit. And he goes, no, you're right, okay. And he goes, and it's a fucking good role, So he went back, but he would say like they would do like 8 till 10 like that day, and then the next day, because you started at 8, you'd go in at 10 and do 10 till 12, and then you would do 12 till, and he said, and it just sort of ruined. That's why he started drinking, I think. And they say he had problems, but from what people have said, it sounds like he was drinking a lot, and stuff like that. And it goes into all that and other people's reactions to him and all that because of it. And then he got a pay rise, and everyone else didn't. And then he felt bad, and he got loads of the main cast into the room, gave them like $30,000 each from his own pocket, because he got a pay. I think by the last couple of seasons, he was getting like $1 million an episode, and they weren't. And he was just giving them all money and stuff. And I thought, I'd never heard any of that before. And it's all
Tom Selleck. I'll refer you to Tom Selleck and Magnum.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I hadn't heard it about. I'd read a lot of the things about Sopranos, but a lot of these were people like, it's long enough now, or he's died now, and it's been long enough, or whatever. I can say it now. No, I'd never said this before. There's a lot of those sort of interviews. I've never said this before, but and all that. Yeah, it's really good, and it's that both. So it's about an hour and a half both parts. But I think that's all there is, because it finishes at the end of the series and when he died and all that. So I imagine that's it. I don't think you can drag it out much longer than that, but it's very good. Like, if you're a Sopranos fan, that's very good for, as I say, for all the stuff of that. If you're interested in the process of TV and how it all goes together and the ups and downs and the pitfalls, it's quite interesting in that way as well. So you get sort of different people's opinions on it and what they got to do. And there's some nice bits where they're talking about the script meetings, and everyone be at the script meeting and happy that they made it to the end of the script this week.
Like an episode of Game of Thrones.
Because they said it was very set very early on that, like, people were going to die. Like, oh, I'm not in it anymore. I was like, oh, okay. And they were gone, and then someone else would come in, and then they were gone, and all that. And then they talk about the one of the cool bits actually is talk about how it ended. And apparently none of them knew how it was going to end. And when it just does what it does, apparently even James Gandolfini was like, what the fuck? Because he didn't know either. And he was like, because they did all sorts of other bits like to obviously throw people off. But yeah, no, it is really good. And it's just sad that there won't be any more. I'd like them to do something with the kids, but they never will.
No.
We got that prequel movie.
Yeah.
That was alright. But yeah, but no, it's very, very good. Makes you want to go and watch them all again now.
You do that. No one's stopping you.
We can do an episode on each one.
No. I'm sure there's plenty of
No,
Sopranos
they did it.
podcasts.
Two of the guys did that. They went
Yeah.
back and done it. And it's really funny because they didn't care. They
Yeah,
were just
fair
talking
enough.
about all of it and all that. But yeah, anyone else watched anything of note?
No.
Yep.
Oh, one more.
So I've saved the best. Well, I've finished watching The Boys. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go on about it.
Cliffhanger ending though.
I like the ending. It was good because that's the next season's going to be the last one, isn't it? Yeah. So it's very good ending.
But that was a bit of a couple of them, like the young girl and the young lad. They're the ones.
They're the
from
ones I
Generation
assumed.
V
Yeah,
came
I assume
across,
that. Not that I've watched it, but I kind of guess that's who they were. But yeah, I have said so. I can't recommend this enough, actually, even though
Ooh.
it's everything I hate about the world.
Top Gun.
No, Supercell on Netflix. Either of you seen the
I've
trailers?
seen
The
it's on the list
title
to
cards.
watch at the moment.
This rings a bell.
So it's so you think Heroes, but
Only 2 seasons.
yeah. No,
Sorry.
this may only have two. It's definitely got a second season.
No, because like Heroes was only good for that long.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. So think Heroes, but set in South London, Peckham, that kind of area.
Yeah.
So most, in fact, all of the cast are black. I'm gonna read them out, and I apologise in advance for any of the mispronunciations. We've got Tosin Cole, Nadine Mills, Josh Teduku, Eric Kofi and Brefa, Adeleo, Calvin Demba, and then it starts getting to the rest of the sort of smaller cast members. But the basic premise is you got these people that never met suddenly develop a superpower, but you've got like a gang lead, and he's not really a leader, but a kid in a gang. You've got a father who's separated. He's not long come out of prison. He's having problems getting access to his kid and stuff like that. You've got just a delivery driver who's trying to get on with life, and they're about to get he's going to propose to his girlfriend, and this other kid who's a drug dealer he's just fucking awesome. He's played by Galvin Demi. He's the best character in it. Rodney, his name is in the show. But it's basically them coming to terms, dealing with the power, and what there's always a sinister thing going on as well. But it's just absolutely brilliant. It is the acting in it is top notch. It doesn't shy away from anything that we're 3 40-year-old white guys that live as far from London, London
one
gang
hour.
culture. Yeah, no, but what I mean is that we live as far from that kind of culture as we possibly can get.
I'm pretty street.
Oh yeah, because you teach, but you know what I mean.
It's not
But
Dangerous Minds.
Yeah, you just see that, could you?
How do I reach these kids?
But yeah, but they don't. It's they speak the language that is spoken in that world, if you like.
And
And
you
if
can
you don't
still
understand
understand
it, tough shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wagwan.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not Grange Hill where like
Yeah.
none of the kids. This is. It's just everything about it felt so real, and I've always said it. I don't like superhero stuff, but I do like when it's an origin story because that's interesting. And this is exactly what it is. It's a 6 episodes, something like that. I can't remember, 6 or 8 episodes. I forget now.
I know it's got good reviews.
It is really good. I genuinely
Cool.
thought it was brilliant, and I'm
So we've
pleased
got
to
it on
see
the
that it's got a
list. I do
second
wanna watch
season.
it. And I just remembered something.
And people die,
Whee.
which again, because actually that did happen in Heroes, didn't it?
Yeah, people
Yeah.
dying heroes and stuff.
Spock killed a load
Mate,
of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
Took their heads off and ate their brains.
That's right. I remember now. But yeah, it's just brilliant, and it is well worth a watch.
Cool.
I also watched the first episode of Chaos.
Yeah, I saw
With-
that. Well, I say trailer. The bit now Netflix don't even do trailer now, do they? They just show you a scene,
Yeah, random scene. normally.
which annoys me. But
But it's alright. It seems quite fun. Jeff Goldblum is,
Oh, that's right. That's
is
the one you're on about.
Zeus.
Yeah.
Billy Piper is some strange lady wandering around. There's other
Who does she play in the film then?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
There's other people in it you recognise from other stuff. There's like a food van man who's really bugging me, but now that I think about it, I think he may have been in The Sopranos. Now that, cause I think I saw it, so I need to look that up. But it's one of those where you recognise people. But it's just sort of a bit of fun, really, but serious fun. You know, you got the Greek gods, people worshipping them, and suddenly it looks like they might be turning on the gods, and there might be someone behind it, or there might not be. And there's all sorts of little things. I feel that the first one's more the setup episodes, you know, like it puts the pieces on the board, and I think the next one will be whether or not I'll probably carry on watching it or not. But so far so good. It's bright, it's colourful, it's a bit more fun, and it's got a nice pace to it. I think it learned the lessons of American Gods. 'Cause I think American Gods came out, they had loads of cool stuff.
That could have been so good.
There's never been a programme where a lady's vagina at a man and I've not wanted to watch the next episode because I was bored. You know what I mean? It's just because I think American Gods went in on like, this is going to be like so deep, meaningful and stuff, and they made it that way to start with, and it was all, you know, paced out, sort of director's cut style and everything, and everyone watched it and like, man, that was really long and boring, and they tried to make it like sensational and great to begin with, almost as if it was directed by Zack Snyder, and and it won't. Whereas this has kind of gone in, and you're coming along. It reminds me a little bit in style of, you know, like the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, where it just kind of paces along. They're on the beach, everything's fun, stuff happens, but it's kind of, there's a vibe to it. You feel like, you know, maybe you're on holiday in Greece as it's all happening or something. And but so far so good. But I'll say one more will be, because that's kind of, it set it up, and now we see what happens next. And that'll be when, oh no, all right, or okay, it's good. But again, I think it's only about 6 episodes or so. And yeah, we will see what happens on that one. And I just remember something I learned this week, because your T-shirt reminded me, and I don't think it ever got publicised in this country.
I'm wearing a Knight Rider T-shirt for anyone that's listening.
Oh, watching on YouTube, you can see it.
Well, that's why I didn't point it out to the YouTube watchers, because they can see it.
David Hasselhoff did a song with Pingu.
Really?
Get on there now.
I'm not doing it now, but
you can show our viewers. And like,
I might. I'll stick it in.
It wasn't like released in this country. I found it today, and I also found out that David Hasselhoff, because David Hasselhoff this week has sung with a big orchestra, and there's been clips online, and one of the guys at work showed me, and I went, "Oh, did you not see the Berlin Wall?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And I showed him that, and then we found out. This is all while educating the children of this country. We found out that around 2008, David Hasselhoff launched HoffSpace as a rival to MySpace, because this is the direct quote, during his travels around the world, where he is, because he's popular all over the world, meets all sorts of people around the world, he realised that all these people in different countries and that never get to talk to each other. So he thought, if he could set up a social media where the fact that everyone liked him, he could bring them all together.
He's a man for the people.
He is.
And it wasn't tongue-in-cheek. He really well, everyone likes me, so I can get everyone to talk to everyone else
About me.
And bring peace to the world. You know, it was like,
I brought peace to East and West Berlin. I can do it around the world.
Yeah. That's what we need, more Hoff.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff that hasn't been out in this country.
That's it. That's what we should get T-shirts. The world needs more Hoff.
Yeah.
HoffSpace.
Right.
I'm a bit gutted I didn't get to sign up to it though.
Yeah.
But it didn't last long for some reason.
Pingu. Pingu. Okay, everybody. This is the Pingu Prance. I want everybody up to do the Pingu dance. My name is Pingu. Come on, dance to the beat. It's easy if you try. Just watch my feet. Let's all be happy and have some fun. Let's count.
スポットライト
Class of 1999 was directed by Mark Al Lester, who's known for Extreme Justice, Firestarter, Commando, Showdown in Little Tokyo, and a whole lot more. And it was the loose follow-up to his 1982 film Class of 1984. Although the only real similarities is that
The
it was
titles?
it was a rough
Yeah.
school, and it was gangs with the same name. None of the actors or characters followed over. I guess it's like the next generation or something. The film was originally going to be called Obedience and was shot through 1988 at the Lincoln High School in Seattle's Wallingford neighborhood. And you can see the school in the introduction of the film, where you see its heavily secured gun towers that they built outside it to kind of make it Mad Max-like or futuristic, whatever you want to call it. And all the film's robots effects were designed by Eric Allard. Musical notes. You can hear 9 Inch Nails' Head Like a Hole in this, and it featured on the soundtrack, and that surprised me because I always pictured that as much as a later song. But then
Yeah,
I
me
suppose,
too.
You know, it was the end of the 90s maybe. It was kind of...
Yeah, but if this was shot in '88, I mean, even if they did it in pre-production, you would still be looking at '89 as the
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's, yeah.
pre-production. You know, when any additional soundtracks get added. So, yeah, because in my head, Head Like a Hole's 93, 94.
Yeah, 94, yeah, I had it around that sort of... Yeah. But maybe not then.
No.
Midge Ewer's Come the Day is used over the closing credits of the film. Ewer recorded the track while on tour in the US in 1989. Made it for the film, but later said he disliked the song as well as the film. When the musicians, Lane Staley from Alice in Chains and Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine, decided to join efforts to record a song for the soundtrack of the movie The Faculty from 1988 or 98, 99, sorry, America, they actually named their supergroup the Class of 99 after this film. Joshua John Miller was nominated for Young Artist Award for his performance in this film, and it had a budget of $5.2 million, and like most cult classics, didn't make it back.
Or like,
It made $2.4 million.
yeah, okay.
So, you know.
We'll come on to this later, but I take issue with that sentence. But
For the cast, notable cast members include Bradley Gregg as Cody Culp, the main guy. You would have seen him in Stand By Me, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors,
Great film.
and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Good film, too.
You've got Tracy Lind as Christy Langford, the girlfriend, I guess. Our three teachers are made up of John P. Ryan as Mr. Hardin. You'd see him later on in Bound. The legendary Pam Grier as Miss Connors. This is sort of one of her comeback films. And Patrick Kilpatrick as Mr. Brawls. Patrick Kilpatrick has been in literally every show going. He has either tried to kill, take out, or demolish every one of your TV heroes, from Mulder and Scully through to The Pretender, through to TJ Hooker, and everyone in between. He's one of those guys, as soon as you see him, he's sort of a renter villain. Between him and Brian Thompson, I think they've tried to kill nearly everyone in TV history. Legend Stacey Keach turns up as the crazy Dr. Robert Bob Forrest. Malcolm McDowell turns up as Dr. Miles Langford, the head of the school, in the 2 days of filming that he did. Joshua John Miller as Angel Colt, as I say, won lots of awards, so this is now a famous writer and director himself. There's a character in the film called Mohawk, who, it doesn't end well for Mohawk, spoiler, but he's played by Sean Gregory Sullivan, who you may remember from Phil, the drunk guy in the car in the middle in Wayne's World. In Now Forever in the Bohemian Rhapsody video, and he's also in the old number 5 in Umbrella Academy these days. You have got James McIntyre as the first technician. He was in Roadhouse, and Lee Arenberg as a technician too. Lee Arenberg, I don't know if you recognise him. He's the one with the glasses, the bug with the glasses. He did that really cool thing of taking his glasses off and then growing a beard, and then became a badass and is the guy in all the Pirates of the Caribbean films and all that.
Oh right, yeah.
And I think he was in Once Upon a Time as well. He's just like he's a short guy, but he's bold he's got like a big beard now, and now he's a badass. But like when you see him like that, you're like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like that old. Do you remember the old little video on YouTube where it was like, be a badass, if you're going bold, shave your hair, grow a beard. Now chicks will like you. That's basically what he did. And if you keep your eyes peeled, you see Rose McGowan walking around in the background quite a few times. She's she's the girl outside Langford's office, is her official title, but she does appear here and around, so she was about. So there's other people in it as well that you'll recognise from various 80s TV shows and films, and I'm sure the evil gang leader guy was in like LA Law or something, but the one that they become mates at the end. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he was like a lawyer in LA Law or one of those sort of shows, but I couldn't bother to look it up. I've had enough of it by then. But right, what's it about, you say? Let's dig into the plot.
Aren't we supposed to do like the?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Initial impressions. I remember. I'll start with me because I picked it.
Yep, fair enough.
I remember this being one of those really cool-looking video covers, and you're like, well, that's got to be good. What? The teachers are out. They fight back, as a sort of 10, 12-year-old. When was it?
1990.
99. What would I have been then?
Teenager.
Yeah,
13,
young
14.
teenager, fighting back against evil robot teachers would have been up my street.
Fight the power.
Fight the power, exactly. Fight the power would that be? And yeah, and it was one of those. I remember watching it and sort of thinking it was cool then, and yeah, then it went back on the video show and I found the next one. But it was just one of those. It was another one of those ones. I always remember the cover because it was like the sort of melty robot-y kind of slightly Terminator-y, but I think this might have been before T2. So
Yeah,
is that why they
T2.
call Pam Grier Miss Connors, do you think?
probably is actually.
Yeah.
It's cheap enough to that, isn't it? But knowing her, it's probably some sort of soul Motown person or something. But it probably is that. But yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it's a video store kind of thing that I was drawn to the case. Damien,
Never heard of it at all until our previous podcast recording where you said we're going to watch this film.
again, remember it was chosen because it was back to school time, so that was the sort of thing
That's fine.
behind it. Just saying.
You have to justify your choice. Just saying.
Yeah.
So I'd never heard of it, never seen it, never. It was not on my radar at all.
I remember it being shown on Bravo once,
Yeah.
about 2 a.m. But, Paul?
This passed me by, or I passed it by.
Okay, then. So, the plot.
The plot for what it is.
Just look at it. If you can see their faces. Right. In an alternative 1990s, violence in North American high schools has spiraled out of control after a series of mass shootings resulting in the Constitution being abolished and private businesses banned, with areas in most major cities being taken over by youth gangs, resulting in some schools shutting down. Two major gangs vie for control of the former US. So yeah, we get the scene. It's all little kind of computer voiceover, like a video game or something, isn't it? We're clear what kind of thing we're going for. It's trying to be futuristic. It looks like the start of a Commodore 64 game.
Yeah.
Mind me a bit of Escape from LA.
Yeah, Escape, but yeah, very carpentry, and again that sort of John Carpenter music, synthy kind of stuff. And again, this sounds a bit weird, but this is from the tagline. So I've kind of left it like that on purpose. Two major gangs vie for control of the former US by taking over one school in Washington.
Yeah.
So, it's thought through. But it sets the scene. We get an idea of what we're going to deal with.
Yep. Yeah, it does. I'll give you that. It certainly tells you what is going on 9 years from now, as in when the film was
When it was
released.
Did it predict the future?
I couldn't work out why the Constitution being abolished and private business is banned because of.
Well,
American
in
highs.
America, private businesses are involved in schools and fund things for schools and all that. Sort
Private
of
business is involved in everything.
Yeah, I know, but I just couldn't understand why the Constitution's being abolished, and it's like, well, just get the army involved.
Well, that's what they did.
Yeah, maybe.
Ah, yeah,
Maybe.
see? Foreshadowing. Shall I
Alright,
go on? Or
Yeah, go for it, Damien.
Okay, so in 1999, I felt like I'm going to go into bloody the
18.
A-team then. In 1999, special areas known as fire-free zones have been established where the police have no jurisdiction, with the CIA being responsible for law enforcement. Seattle's Kennedy High School is in the middle of a fire-free zone. Thus, the Department of Education Defense, DED, a division of the CIA, has implemented martial law. Working with Megatech head Dr. Bob Forrest, an experiment begins where 3 former military robots, originally built during the Soviet-America War of 1991, have become android educators. Forrest introduces the school coach, Mr. Briles, history teacher, Mr. Hardin, and chemistry teacher, Miss Connors, to the Board of Education. Impressed with the new teachers, new principal Miles Langford has announced that former delinquents who are imprisoned will be released as part of the new experiment, which would allow new methods of discipline from the new teachers. One such delinquent is Cody Culp, a member of the Black Hearts gang.
Black Hearts.
Black Hearts. And in case you are under any misapprehension of what that involves, that means dressing like a futuristic punk and having a little black heart tattoo somewhere on your body. That's pretty much.
And being beaten up.
Oh yeah, you got to get beaten up to get in, but we might come to that later in the.
And beaten up to leave.
Yeah.
A lot of beating up.
Yeah. I thought at one point they were going to, go with the Sons of Anarchy, and if you're leaving the gang, we take your patch.
Colour it in.
Yeah. Or burn it off. History teacher.
Cody Culp.
Cody
Out of
Culp.
prison.
Yes. Out of prison, Cody has decided to lie low and avoid any gang warfare, especially with the rivals, the Razorheads, led by Hector. Again, this is not explained. He comes out of prison and he's going to keep his head down. But where's the
Yeah,
where's his epiphany in prison?
If they're this lawless, I get that. I've come out of prison. I don't want to get in trouble again. But
Yeah.
if you're in a lawless zone where it
where there is
doesn't
no
matter,
law.
there is no law. Why are you keeping your head down for? Yeah, I want to get my GCSEs, man. Whatever it is.
Because
Okay.
prison didn't look that bad compared to the outside one.
No.
Yeah, Quite
Exactly.
nice.
So the idea of
Probably
going back in,
3-4 meals a day,
yeah.
a bed. Yeah.
No one trying to kill you.
Exactly. After a car chase, Cody, his younger adopted brother
Oh,
Sonny.
no, hold on. Sorry
Whoa.
to jump in. So the reason why, from what I can remember, is he was in juvie as opposed to proper grown-up prison.
Right.
Ah,
And he doesn't want to go to proper opponent.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think
'cause
that
I
was
think
the clause. So
doesn't the guy that
if he
yeah.
messes up, he then goes into proper prison and he's
Yeah.
basically dead.
Yeah.
I remembered something.
but he's a member of the Black Heart. Surely that means he'd be alright in prison.
Well, no, they're kid gang.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Damien.
He hasn't graduated to the Black Clubs or the Ace of Spades gang or whatever it may be. After a car chase, Cody, his younger adopted brother Sonny, and his younger biological brother Angel make it to school. Sonny is taken in by the new school guards after he confronts them as they check the car for weapons or drugs. Black Heart member Kurt, who thanks Angel, learns Cody no longer wants to be in the gang.
Thanks to Angel.
Oh yeah, sorry. Who thanks to Angel? I thought that was a bit weird. Who thanks to Angel learns Cody no longer wants to be in the gang. Informs Cody that if he is not with them, then he is against them. Still, Cody sticks to his laying low and attends class.
Whole bunch of dynamic relationships there that are laid bare for us to see. The weird family
Yeah,
and the gang. And
the over-the-top gangs. What was the car bit, and they all start running after the car. So what
I think it was to show us how dangerous and rough it is.
You can't be driving in this neighborhood no more. Why? You've got machine guns, haven't you? Just
Yeah.
just fire.
You're a Blackheart, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it does well to set it up, but also
Sorry, what?
it does well to set. We learn who
Set what up?
who the characters are.
Right. I must have just been looking at. Oh my god, no one can act.
Yeah.
What? But these people, because I looked them up and he's like, oh, this guy was in Stand By Me. What the? What happened? I mean, did he spend too much time with River Phoenix or something, and just go off on a?
It does say in one of the notes that this was his only lead role.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
I thought the other guy was a girl as well at the beginning.
So did I.
Angel.
I was thinking, where have I seen
Angel,
her before?
yeah.
I had. It's like I know her, him, them.
I genuinely thought, and then when I looked him up, I thought, oh, he's changed. He's transitioned or something.
I've seen them in something else.
Yeah. But no, he's not.
Not this film. That's
No,
for
they've
sure.
been loads of things. They're an award-winning.
Yeah.
He got the award. He was the one who won the Young Actors Award
What,
from
Angel?
This film. Yeah,
He was
barely in it.
nominated.
yeah.
I
And
don't think he won it for this.
Yeah.
And no, he got it for this. And he's also now a writer, director,
Yeah.
and all that. He's probably done the best out of
Yeah.
anyone that wasn't Stacey
Yeah.
Keach or
Yeah,
Malcolm McDowell, Pam Grier.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this-
we get
I
the
dunno.
idea. So we get the school layout.
It's like one of those things. The guy's had an idea, and he just wants to.
Don't forget, he's already made Class of 1984 at this point, which was a proper, more violent gangs at school kind of futuristic sort of thing. This was. It's done as a sequel, but again, the only thing I think that stays the same are the gang names.
Right.
You know, like the first one's more like a gang film, but not. It's not up there with like the Wanderers or the Warriors or anything like that. It's just sort of this sort of thing, but just gang. And then he took that idea on now and now put the sci-fi element to it.
Right. So
But
anyway,
what he didn't do is put any flesh around any of the characters. Even it's just like, why?
yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. We get the setup. We've got
Yeah.
teachers that we know are going to get bad. Yeah. Anyway, in chemistry class, Ms. Connors attempts to calmly talk down Hector and a fellow Razorhead. When the two Razorheads attempt to confront Ms. Connors, whilst all this is going on, she's being viewed by all the technicians. I'm explaining this to people watching and listening. So there's a control room monitoring what she's seeing and how she's performing. So she basically has a choice at any point to either calm down the situation, use nice methods, or employ fighting skills.
Yeah, you get the sort of
The different Robocop
Terminator
options.
2 combinations come
Yeah.
up, like Axl Rose, Wasted
Yeah.
Space, whatever it was.
So she decides to
So
use...
So I'm going to say this now because it's in every type of this film with that screen. And to be fair on this one, you have people watching that screen, so it makes sense to have that screen. But if you're a android or a mechanical artificial robot intelligence thing,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have a screen in your head
Maybe she
with
overlays it.
things.
Maybe she overlays it. Maybe it's a heads-up display.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have a heads-up display.
Maybe she...
We don't have heads-up displays. We just have the thought process.
Remember, this is late 80s.
I know, but it's
Technology
a
wasn't
trope
what it was.
to do something. I know it is, but it just annoys me. It annoys me in Terminator. It annoys me they do it in Red Dwarf with Crichton.
Yeah.
They do it in everything. It wouldn't actually exist because
They don't
Yeah,
need
but
it.
it's almost the
I know what it is.
not so much here, but it's almost the
It's just explain it to the
um,
viewer.
the what's the word I'm looking for?
Don't know.
It's almost not quite the soliloquy in some ways, but it's the thought process, and
Yeah.
what's in the method behind it, and it's the but there's no thought behind anything
Well,
else.
no,
in
actually, no.
this.
But what I say in this film, it actually does make sense because that is being relayed back to a screen
and people are
somewhere.
watching it. Yeah,
Whereas with like Terminator or
Hmm.
any other ones that do it, it's not. It's just supposed to be inside the the robot, the whatever head. Anyway, carry on.
She uses fighting skills to take them down and make them sit in their seats. This pleases Forrest and Megatech, who are in the basement disguised as DED Control Center. When Mr. Harden's history class is interrupted by a fight between Kurt and Razorhead's member Flavio, Harden resorts to using corporal punishment, which is basically slapping them on the arse several times, and puts the class in line, saving the students' lives. Does he? Returning home, Cody is shocked to find his brothers and his mothers are addicted to the drug known as Edge. Upset and angry, he leaves and goes on his motorcycle, returning home later that night.
Yeah. I forgot to mention how Megatech is such a cool name.
Can we just talk about this guy's eyes for a minute as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, what the fuck is that all about?
I thought, okay, is he supposed to be an android?
Yeah.
Otherwise, why has he got these eyes?
Yeah. There's no need for them.
And unless he.
Oh, Stacey Keach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must know. Surely you must know who we're talking about.
No, I wasn't sure if you
when I
meant
say
the
the
robot.
eyes.
I thought you went the
No.
minute. Yeah, I'm guessing it's never explained,
No.
but nor is his haircut. But
Well, his haircut, because it's the future.
Yeah.
And you got to think, if you unless you employ one of those like futurologists or whatever they call themselves, where they can who actually think about this stuff all the time, you're going to come up with some weird shit like what is it where they wear two ties? I can't. Is that Back to the Future? I think it's Back to the Future where if you got a tie on, you got two ties, or the pants are all kids wear their pants inside out in 2015, so he turns his inside pockets out. Unless you've got a futurologist, you just come up with that weird shit to make it different, and that's why his hair's
I'm
stupid.
guessing it was like he's experimenting on himself or something like that.
It's just never explained, unfortunately.
No, and they're just so distracting.
And it could have done. It could have been, these are my implants, so I can see everything that's going on.
I lost them in the American-Soviet War or whatever it was.
Exactly.
That I talked about earlier.
These are my replacement eyes. Because the problem is, there's a couple of points in the film where, because obviously lens technology wasn't that great, they don't move when his real eyes do.
Yeah.
There's a bit where he's got one of the kids in a headlock or something, and he turns, like, the camera's on him, and he looks at he's looking at Cody, and then he looks towards the guy that he's got in a headlock, and you see his real eyes move underneath the contacts.
I thought
and
it
the
was going to be
contacts
like
stay
something
exactly where
of
they
V.
are. You what?
I thought it was going to be like something of V.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
that was the least of the things I.
No, I know. I was just
Cool.
What else are you going to say, Paul?
So what?
What was your other bit then? So you said that was the least of the things I was worried about. So what other bits were there?
Oh, we're still talking about my bit, are we?
You can do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm trying to say nice things about it.
They have to be nice. That's the thing. The mum seemed alright as a wasted, sort of drugged up, bad mum.
Yep.
Yeah,
Fighting over
true.
Edge.
True, yeah.
I love these type of films. You can come up with any name for a futuristic drug. Oh man, I'm gonna score some tripod tonight. It's like, yeah.
No, but I didn't mind that. It's like take the edge off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing I always find amusing, and I think, no, it works, because it doesn't matter what you call it. If it's 20, 30, 10 years in the future, whatever it is, the street name for a drug can be anything you want it to be. I'm going to store some Cringer tonight.
So that's why it's like, I couldn't do it, because I was like, let's call it Knob. I really need some knob.
Man, I want to score some knob.
I'd like, yeah. I'd end up just, that'd be bad.
You got $40 for some knob?
I'm craving for some knob, man. But anyway, the next
That's
day,
the next T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm craving for knob. Hashtag. The next day, Flavio attempts to woo Christy, Mr. Langford's daughter. But when she resists the advances, he decides to rape her.
Yeah.
Because,
As you do.
it's the future. Cody, though, witnesses what is happening and fights off Flavio as well as Hector
And everyone.
and anyone else who comes near. Mr. Broyles sees the incident now and puts Cody in a full Nelson hold and takes him to the principal's office. While Langford informs Cody that he's technically violated his parole with the fight, he lets him off due to the fact that he did save Christy, his daughter, from being raped. but has him placed under surveillance at the school anyway. So it's like, he even says that day, it's your daughter, they were going to rape her, dude. I like saved her. He's like, yeah, but the school rules.
No, he said, why didn't you tell a teacher? It's like, there was no, all you need to say, there's no time. She was about to get raped.
Yeah.
You do it again, you're back in prison. Proper prison.
And there's no follow-up on the two rapists either.
No, but this is the fire-free zone.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a school and
It's
teachers.
clearly not explicit in the school rules that you cannot sexually assault girls. So therefore, it's not in the school rules. I mean, it's in society's rules, but it's not in the school
not
rules.
in their programming. So
Yeah, exactly.
You're just not allowed to bring in automatic weapons. That's what it says.
Yeah. You're not allowed to fight, bring drugs, or automatic weapons. Anything else goes. Because morally, they don't have a compass. And where are the other teachers? There's only 3 subjects being taught in this school. What the fuck are the kids going to do when they graduate?
But if you think about it,
Take over the US.
Yeah.
most TV shows only have about 3 teachers and they run the whole school.
That's
and
true, I
then they
suppose.
run out of school and drive somewhere when their kid's in trouble as well, because that happens. But yeah, I didn't even see one curriculum meeting. But yeah, so we get about the stakes at the school and just how rough and dangerous it is there, especially for females.
Yeah. Okay, shall I carry on?
Oh, go on then.
Good. Cody and Brawls head to physical education class, where Brawls, who's coach, humiliates Blackheart member Mohawk while doing push-ups. When the class is over, Brawls tells Cody to stay behind and begins to viciously beat him. Mohawk goes to his locker and takes some edge and grabs a gun. Cody, still being beaten, is seriously hurt when Brawls sees Mohawk with the gun. Brawls grabs the gun and breaks Mohawk's neck, killing him instantly. Megatech technicians Marv and Spencer are in total shock when Forrest informs them that this was self-defense with a gun.
Yes, that's the whole thing in it. It was self-defense. He pulled a gun on me. He's like, yeah, but you broke his neck.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
like you broke the gun, so that's the end of it. You don't need to be doing any more than
yeah. I would say this is probably the best actual scene in the movie that kind of almost doesn't become a joke of itself and kind of achieves what it was supposed to achieve.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Without an added slice of cheese, or I mean, don't get me wrong, is it well acted? Yeah, right. But for the guy, we see how dangerous Edge is. We see what it does to poor old Mohawk, who will, in a few years' time, be sat in the back of Wayne and Garth's car, about to throw up and blood chunks. And we get the evil teacher, and we get the 2 guys who we suddenly learn aren't in on it all because this is too much. This is too far.
Yeah.
See, I was just confused because, and this carries on happening throughout the film, Cody had literally been pummeled to death.
Yeah.
And had blood coming out of his mouth, which I thought was a different character at this point, because he comes back the next minute and he's just got a scratch on the top of his head, which just stays throughout the film. So whether they had one makeup artist that just could do that, remember that scar, it was just, I was genuinely confused. I thought, is that a different character then? It's like, I know, that was him. He's dead. Oh no, I thought they were both dead. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they just went a bit over the top on Cody, because it looked like, there was a point, if he'd just been knocked unconscious or coming out of it, and then you saw the other guy get killed, fine. But it looked like this phys ed teacher had literally just crushed his chest.
He didn't really have a reason at this point, either. He was just bullying, I suppose. Or is he still blaming him for his...
Well, he's the cliche of your phys ed coach, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
that's
just
true, yeah.
roided up nutter that just beats on kids.
Yeah. Anyway, when Sonny shows up to Mr. Harden's class totally high on edge, Harden takes him to his locker. Harden grabs the locker door and pulls it out to find vials of the Edge in the locker. He proceeds to take the vials and force them into Sonny's mouth while pummeling his head on the lockers. Harden kills Sonny, and upon his return to class, takes Sonny's now bloodied cross and puts it in his pocket. Everyone needs a trophy.
Oh, yeah.
Cody sees the cross as Harden gives his lecture. When Langford confronts the 3 teachers about the death of Sonny, it soon becomes a cover-up to say Sonny died of a drug overdose. When Christy tries to convince Cody based on her father's word about Sonny, Cody is angry and is convinced Hardin killed Sonny.
This bit was quite cool. I quite like the older teacher dude because he was kind of the one I thought was going to be the throwaway. Because you had like Pam Grier and you had like the cool hard PE teacher and the old guy. But,
He's the brains of the operation.
I mean, he does the spanking bit, and the guy sort of bleeds to death from being spanked a couple of times. But or nearly does. Still can't work that one out. But this is actually quite an evil bit for him. Everyone else around it wasn't.
The one positive I'll say about this is where he's shoving all the drugs down his throat. The blood foam stuff coming out of his mouth it reminded me of what I wanted. You remember the back of comic books? You used to get sometimes the not special effects, but it'd be like the blood capsules.
Yeah.
You always wanted them to be like this foaming things, but you bit into them and your saliva is a bit red.
Yeah.
That's what they should have been like.
To be fair, I mean, the effects, because they're practical effects, are good-ish. They're not groundbreaking for their period. They're not going to win any awards. But for a $5 million budget?
Yeah. 5.2 million. I think
Yeah.
it was,
The practical effects of this film aren't that bad. And like you say, it's not an easy that kind of to pull that off with the. They're not. It looks quite simplistic and easy to do, but it's not.
Either that, or do we know if the actor actually did anything else? It was just a glorified snuff movie.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, it's me.
But the cross does become a big part, doesn't it? The cross becomes. This is our evidence that they might not be what they seem.
Okay. So, apologising to Chrissy the next day, he tries to convince her that...
hold on.
Whoa.
Apologising to Chrissy the next day without any scars.
Yeah.
Apart from that one scar on his head.
Yeah, I agree. The guy's been beaten half to death.
All his ribs are healed and whatever else.
Yeah. He's in no pain whatsoever. No bruising, just a scar. So, apologising to Chrissy the next day, he tries to convince her that Hardin had something to do with Sonny's death and had Joe skip school for evidence. Chrissy and Cody have the teacher directory and learn that Hardin, Briles and Connors live in the same apartment. Now, these are robots that do not need to do anything other than re-educate. Surely they would just be stored in a cupboard somewhere.
Yeah, but I believe it's the illusion that they're people because they're trying to pretend they're real teachers, not robots. So it's the illusion by Megatech to to pass these off as actual real teachers and not as robots.
Fair enough. So they break into the apartment and Cody finds the bloody cross. Now let's just talk about the apartment for a second.
Yeah, I'm glad. Glad you mentioned that.
It's obviously bare apart from some canisters of something in a corner.
A bra.
Yeah, so a few items of clothing and a bra that seems to take up far too much time. But I did like the opening of the cupboards and there's like some oil, something else.
See, I would,
and then the WD-40.
I was loving that, thinking this is gonna be a joke. And they're going to make a big joke out of this later on, but they didn't.
No.
So I can't forgive them for that now.
Fair enough.
It was a deadpan joke, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I don't trust that it was. I think, hey, the robots, they're going to need WD-40. They're going to need, what else, some oil and they're going to need some oxygen can things or whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah, great idea.
They
just
right.
pop down to Home Depot and clear out WD-40 from the
Bit
shelves.
of Brasso.
Yeah.
Polish themselves up.
Yeah, all it needed was one of those, like in the Wizard of Oz, the 1940 film with the little can of oil.
Yeah.
It just needed one of them in the corner.
Yeah.
Just to top it off. I mean, that would have made it funny.
If they'd have come back and Pam Grier was like, going, oh, my arm. Okay. Comes to the cupboard, WD-40.
Yeah.
Like, better, thanks. It's just something.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Anyway.
Carry on.
So they find the cross. However, the trio of teachers arrive and catch the duo escaping. A chase ensues and ends up with the trio in water. Having survived the car crash in the water, the trio decide to start a war between the Razorheads and the Blackhearts.
Yeah. So
Again, he crashes his bike.
well, hold on. Before that,
Oh, before that.
before they crash, they're in a car. He's on a little. I don't even know if you can class it as a motorbike. I mean, it's a under 50cc something.
Yeah.
They keep ramming into the back of him. He's fine. He just wobbles a bit.
It
and
would
he's
only
back.
take a little tiny tap
Yeah.
to take. I mean, even a whacking great big Kawasaki or something,
It's gone.
You hit it with a car.
Yeah.
You're off the road.
Yeah.
I like the sort of, although they don't really go into it, the military strategy of getting the two nations to fight each other and then pick the bones kind of thing, because that's like military strategy. That's what we tried to do, or America tried to do in Vietnam.
That's what you tried to do. Oh yeah. Now the past is
Yeah.
coming out.
Well, this is my
Create
job.
a proxy war is a
Yeah.
age old.
But it would have just been nice if they, they've gone back to their military training experience in trying to do that, or they just do it. We're filling in the blanks of all the clever stuff here because they don't explain it enough. And again, I forget which teacher. It's the old white-haired teacher, Brills. Is it Brill? No.
Doesn't matter.
But again, he is making the most of these lines and the scenes he's in. He's only got 3 or 4 lines here and there, but when he does, he's making sure he's the one that looks like he's the one in charge.
He's chewing the
the
scenery. He's chewing every word that he's got.
Because I would say, and I hate to say it, but what's her face? Pam Grier. And I know she'd been off from acting for a while, and this is like a comeback thing for her. But she is like not the best one of the 3, is she?
No.
She's kind of.
Well, she didn't have much material to be going with.
No,
No,
not a lot
I
to
agree
work
with that. But for someone whose main thing before that was to kind of stand there, look hot, and beat people up, it's. A lot of those films didn't have the best dialogue. A lot of the black exploitation numbers, but
they had direction.
Yeah, that's true. Because you do wonder if they turn out and go, what should we just do today?
Yeah. And before we move on, because I don't think because you go straight onto that evening. So it's like, we've got to commandeer another car. I swear blind, they got the same fucking car.
Yeah, I have.
I couldn't be bothered because by this point, I was like, I'm like, fucking hell.
Well, it's the same make and model.
I was going to rewind it and see if it had the same license plate.
Yeah, I just couldn't be.
Couldn't be bothered to do it.
Yeah.
But in those times, and what was available after the America and Soviet War, everyone just
but there'd be
guns.
2 identical, like our equivalent of a Ford Sierra. It'd be just 2 identical Ford Sierras knocking about that they can commandeer. I don't know. Just pick a different car from the lot.
Yeah.
Surely you've got a bit more budget and just get a fucking Volkswagen Polo or something. Just get something that's not the same car.
Yeah.
Or respray it.
But I was going to say, paint it a different colour.
Yeah.
Or something. Put some fluffy dice in.
Well, they
Get
might
yourself back. No, they blew all their budget on WD-40.
Yeah.
When they went back to Home Depot the next day. No, you're not coming in here. You cleared the shelves yesterday.
It was a very expensive bra. They needed a good one because they're going to talk about it for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway, that evening, Cody and Angel once again bond over a game of basketball.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to go south for Angel.
Yeah.
It is that bit. Angel has become a Blackheart again and decides to stay behind and just play a bit more b-ball. He's up to no good and he's starting to mess around in his neighbourhood. But he meets up. He runs into Broyles, Hardin and Connors on his way home later that night, and they chase him down. Broyles lifts up Angel and throws him against the wall, and then the trio ultimately kill him. Poor old Angel. Shortly after, Razorhead Noza is coming out of a local pizza place where he sees Connors. She kidnaps him, and when the Razorheads are waiting for Noza, Noza is sent through the air of the hangout while on fire, just, for added impact. Hector is convinced the Blackhearts did it and decide to start a war. The next morning, Cody goes to the Blackheart hangout where he finds a dead Angel surrounded by the lights of Kurt, Reedy, and Dawn. Dawn finds Angel's basketball with a message written on it in blood. Cody, seething with revenge, decides he wants to be back in the gang.
And they all celebrate. It's like, yeah, Angel's dead, but Cody's back.
But why don't they
got
beat
an
him up?
upgrade.
Yeah.
Why don't they beat up Cody?
Yeah.
He's
He
back
left.
in. Yeah.
Well, he's already been in the gang, so I don't know if he gets to be jumped back in again.
Oh, that's right. And did we miss the bit where he gets kicked out of the gang and gets beaten up again? And despite the fact, that's when he goes to he apologises to Thingy Bob. Despite the fact he's been beaten up by his gang that night for leaving, he's fine the next day, apart from a scar.
Are we sure this guy's not a cyborg?
Well, exactly, yeah.
That'd be the twist, right?
Yeah.
But they're replaceable in prison. But yeah, Angel. That is always the gang thing, though, isn't there? In every gang film, there's that one that gets left or left behind, and then something bad happens to them.
Yeah.
Or they jump off a bridge or something.
Normal, or it's the one that's about to leave the gang and go straight that gets
it's all
gets
gonna
killed.
happen. Oh, he's that OP.
No, Opie sacrificed himself for the good of the gang.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I can think of.
Okay, fair enough. I go on.
Oh,
then.
and the evil
no.
and the message on the bus.
What was the mess? I forget. I see.
Was it like?
We did it! Ha ha!
No, it was they had to go somewhere to fight. It was like the pier at dawn.
Oh,
or
yeah, that's
I
right,
can't
it
remember
was,
now.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. It was. I never thought it was written in blood until it just looked like some sort of shit felt tip. But,
Yeah.
Okay, blood it is. And like, poor old Noser gets killed, and like, don't want to make it even more. Let's set him on fire as well and chuck him in for no reason.
Yeah.
Although we do find out later that is part of her weapon
MO.
set.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
MO. But at the time, it just seems a bit more
Yeah,
extreme.
a bit over the top.
Considering they just towed in one of them and then they're going to torch the other one. But
Yeah.
sorry, you carry on. Sir.
Okay. So that afternoon, a war ensues between the right, yeah. So a war ensues between the Razorheads and the Blackhearts. Now, these guys are supposed to be like ruthless, hate each other. They sit there and they wait for each other to get set up.
Yeah.
It's like we're behind some crates and some oil drums. As soon as they arrive, open fire. No, they don't do that. They get themselves all set up. No, wait a minute. Let's let Cody get behind his bunker. I don't know,
Knobs.
Jazzy
and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
From Rocksteady.
Yeah, get behind those oil drums. No, just start fucking opening fire as soon as they get out of their
Well,
vehicles.
the kids, aren't they? You ready now, guys?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the what's it called?
Sorry, my mum said I got to go in.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so that afternoon, a war ensues between the Razorheads and the Blackhearts. However, Briles, Hardin, and Connors intercept at various times, killing members from both gangs.
Pause. Sorry. This to me is just like it turns into Cannibal Run.
It just turns into
There's
stupid
just
farce.
It's just this big, there's this big fight going on. These two gangs and all these different rooms and things around the pier. And then in between, you've got three teachers like tiptoeing between.
Yeah.
It's like Scooby-Doo where they come through that door down the corridor, then go across that one and that one. And no one notices them at all.
Yeah.
And they're like, they were here?
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly.
see them. What? They were stood right there.
Well, they're too busy doing their stormtrooper firing where they can't actually hit anything.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Karen.
That's all right. So when Cody and Reedy go inside an abandoned building to trap Hector, Hardin grabs Reedy through a wall and splits him in half with his bare hands. That was a good effect.
Yeah.
I liked that. That
Yeah.
worked well because you actually saw the literal
Yeah.
Body just collapsed, yeah.
that was good. That was well done.
That reminded me of Street Trash. That was like that. Sort of
Yeah, it's
effect,
that. Yeah. When Cody shoots at Hardin, he discovers he's not human. That night, Cody tries to tell the Blackhearts that Hardin was there and that he killed Reedy. Meanwhile, Langford has gotten wind of the situation and decides to have the program terminated. However, Dr. Forrest not only decides to not to terminate the program, but tells Langford that the teachers must kill the enemy. Briles grabs Langford by the throat and with brute force sticks his poison-tipped fingers in Langford's throat, killing him.
Yeah, there's a shock.
Yeah, that wasn't coming at all, was it?
It was, yeah. But did anyone not think that the two most qualified actors in here did the worst bit out of anyone?
I didn't mind Michael McDonald. McDowell. Right?
Malcolm McDowell. Michael McDonald.
McDonald.
Fuck's
He was
Mike McDonald was the landlord in Only Fools and Horses.
And again, good special effects on the throat killing.
Yep. It's just the way there's just the acting is.
Do you think
Yeah.
there's just a bit where they're both just staring into each other's eyes going, what happened to our career?
Yeah.
You were Clockwork Orange, you were Mike Hammer.
Yeah.
It's just like, how did this happen?
Hector receives a call, apparently from Cody, in Terminator 2 style, saying he wants him one-on-one at the school entrance. Connor's kidnapping Christie pretends to be Hector and calls Cody with the same proposition. When Dawn wonders why Hector would meet him at the school, the Blackhearts are finally convinced that the teachers are responsible.
That didn't make any sense to me why they would think that.
No.
Why would he want to go back to school? He doesn't like school. Must be the teachers.
There you go.
Not the bit that they saw them running around the thing on the
Yeah,
pier.
not the bit that he
Yeah.
believed that he shot him and he didn't die. Oh no, the fact that he wants to meet up at school. Because school's is for losers. When Hector and Cody show up with both gangs, Cody attempts to tell Hector that it's not him he wants to kill. He tells Hector that the war with the teachers have started. To prove he is right, Cody shows Hector Sonny's bloody cross. The Razorheads and the Blackhearts kiss and make up and take on the teachers who are waiting for them in the school. Because they used to be friends.
I like that. When we were back in middle school, I thought you were really cool. I thought you were cool too.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Or
Yeah.
whatever
You were
middle
dope.
Yeah,
school
it,
was.
well, it is as bad as that.
Yeah. And it's like, and then they like high five and they ride into the
Right.
sunset.
I have to be honest. By this point, I'd picked up my phone and was playing a game on my phone.
I was watching it because I had to, but it was starting to feel painful.
Yeah. No, I.
And again, everyone else was eating dinner at the table, so I was, trying not
Father,
to.
come eat with us. No, I must watch this for a child.
What are you watching?
Why, Father?
Just a film that Summers has made me watch.
Uncle
yeah.
Brett suggested this. Yeah, this is where I was, by this part, I was just laughing. And that whole bit about, when we were in primary school, whatever, you were cool. Yeah, so were you. And then they were like riding on their motorbikes. At that point, I was just laughing because it had gone full Power Rangers or something. You know, it was just like.
Yeah, I wasn't laughing.
It's not a person. This film's not personally against you.
Well, I just
Felt
don't
like
think you like me anymore.
I gave it to all of us. We all had to sit through it.
He's playing on his fucking phone. He's not sitting through it. That's annoyed me even more.
I couldn't help it.
I didn't know that was an option.
It's not normally, but
Anyway,
But
carry
anyway,
on.
the one big super gang have attacked the school now looking for the teachers, and while they look for Christy and the teachers, they soon learn of the real situation with the teachers. They're robots.
Kel surprise.
And then Mrs. Connor's arm becomes a flamethrower. Bryles' arm becomes a missile launcher. Because, and while many of the Razor and Blackhearts fall victim to the teachers, including Flavio and Dawn, Kurt and Cody find Christy, but then they find Hardin as well. So, basically, all the people who've never really spoken to this point die.
yep.
And then we get some close-ups of a couple of people we do know that spoke, and they die.
Yeah, and also, they decided to ride their bikes through the classrooms. And when you watch them go through one classroom, you think, actually, that's probably the slowest way you can get around a classroom is on a bike.
It's the
They don't
most
go by the
impractical.
door. They
Yeah.
actually ride up and down all
I know.
the desks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
around.
It's like, what? Anyway.
Yeah, and but this is like the action's turned up now. She's got a flamethrower.
Throw fuck.
The
Those
flamethrower,
bits-
I can take the flamethrower.
But those bits are actually how it was done. The practical side of it were pretty cool. I thought.
Except, so I can say I can take the flamethrower, But the missile launcher thing, right? So you see it, you see his arm, the skin, you
Yeah.
know, coming off his arm, and then suddenly the flamethrower is about 6 inches thicker than his arm ever
the
was.
missile launcher, the missile launcher.
Missile launcher. Sorry. It's like,
Yeah, no, that bit's true. But the actual bit where like he pulls it off,
yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so
then it
bad.
obviously switches to the like a model, isn't it?
But it could have been like
Yeah.
the T1000. Yeah, it could have just been like liquid metal that.
Changes shape.
I don't know why
could
I'm
have been.
fucking defending it.
Don't.
Jesus Christ. Let's move on.
Yep. They attempt to shoot down Hardin, but he's too powerful as he grabs Cody with one hand and grabs Kurt with the other hand, which has become a grip with a drill. I forgot about this.
See,
It's
that
become a drill. It's like, don't.
that reminded me of the Centurions, actually.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt is killed by the drill. Hardin attempts to do the same to Cody when Cody reaches for a machine gun and shoots Hardin through the mouth numerous times, destroying him instantly.
Your history.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got that now.
Yeah.
Not really.
Cody and Christy see Miss Connors and are chased to the chemistry lab. Cody, noticing that Connors has an exposed area of flammable gas, distracts her in time to grab an axe after he instructs Christy to turn off all the gas and turn on
all the gas.
So I thought it said turn off all the gas. Yeah, turns on all the Bunsen burners, basically. When he throws the axe at the exposed area, he and Christy run out of the lab. Connors, unleashing the flamethrower, fatally explodes due to the flame hitting the gas.
You're toast.
You're toast. Hector and the other survivor, alongside Cody and Christy, meet up with the duo and are seen by Bryles. Hector provides a distraction while Cody and Christy head for a bus, which Cody hotwires, drives fast, and is able to run down Bryles at the school entrance just as Cody and Christy leap out of the bus. The bus explodes, but all three are safe.
I realise at this point that Deadpool stole this ending in Deadpool 2.
Oh, dear. Or at least some good came out of it.
But, I mean, the gas taps bit's a nice touch. It showed that they did learn something at school.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not a bad final showdown fight thing for what it is. If this had been like a TV pilot or something, it would have been probably bearable. But the fact it was a film, you expect a bit more. But
Yeah.
I mean, it ticks all the boxes of what you expect, and then in a big
I didn't
finale.
expect anything at this stage. I was just
Is
watching.
it delivered in to the level we want? No, but it is. As the story trope goes, this is kind of what you would expect at the
Yeah,
end.
each
and-
one has each villain has to be dispatched separately.
Yeah,
Yeah, all of the usuals.
Yeah.
and we think it's all over, and we're about to see an ending that then Terminator 2 steals in a couple of years,
Yeah.
which is what Paul's about to read out now. Sorry.
When they hear a noise in the school, they go check it out. However, a now half-human, half-robot Bryles escapes from under the bus. Hector, Cody, and Christy find Dr. Forrest, who takes Christy hostage. When Cody tells Forrest it is too late, Forrest is convinced that he can somehow continue the project. He might have lost his money, but he's still got his reputation. When Hector attempts to shoot Forrest, he is shot and killed. Forrest then attempts to kill Cody, but Bryles comes up from behind him and rips his heart out, killing him instantly because he just wants to kill everyone now. Cody and Christy are at first overpowered by Bryles until Cody finds a forklift and impales Bryles. Christy grabs the nearest chain and puts it around his neck, with Cody using the forklift to lift the chain, cutting off Bryles' robotic head. Cody and Christy, the only survivors, walk out of the badly damaged school into safety. Hey, 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 hey!
To the-
I really did expect him to
Yeah.
go.
No, instead we got Midua.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Opinion time. Damien.
Oh, fuck off. I do not have. So I've the only good thing I can say about this is that for the time, and even then, to be fair, I'm giving it some slack because this is 1989, 88, 89 to 90. Effects were improving by that point.
Yeah.
But I do have to say the visual effects, the practical effects in this are pretty damn good. But the acting is shocking.
Yeah,
The direction is appalling.
yeah,
The plot for what it is is wafer thin.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said it in this list already, but the direction is just appalling.
Yeah.
There's no feeling of the film sets up at the start. America's turned to shit. Basically, we've already had a war with the Soviets, and America's gone to shit. This is but there's no sense of expanse to this. This is localized to this one small area.
It's almost as if once you go round that end of that road, that there's nothing there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they drive to the apartment and the streets are deserted. This is supposed to be, they're outside of the fire-free zone now, so America's normal outside the fire-free zone. I mean, there's no one there. There's a few cars when they're doing the car chase scene, but it all feels so closed in on itself that you get no sense. There's no sense of realism in that. The costumes for both sides, for the gang, are ridiculous. It's like, just give it some thought.
But it's the future, Damien.
Yeah, but so you think all they've done is they've kind of looked at one subset of a high school, of what kids wear in a high school, and kind of thought, what would happen next with those guys? Oh, they'd have some chains hanging off their jackets, some tattoos, and it's just everything about this film is shite, and it is literally just a rip-off of Westworld, except instead of being set in a theme park where the I'm not talking about the TV show, I'm talking about the original.
Yeah, I got that.
Yul Brynner film. Instead of being set in a theme park where the animatronics have renegaded, it's
they did Future World as well, didn't they? After that,
yeah.
So that's no, I get you. I mean, it's the robot gone bad concept is.
Yeah, I mean it's older than Westworld,
that, yeah.
but Westworld done it a hell of a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Paul.
So I don't know what film you were watching, Damien. I thought it was a fucking piece of shit. I
don't hold back. It's not a personal attack. It's a film
really pained me to watch this film. Not in a good way. Not in a, oh my God, this is so grotesque. I can't bear to watch it anymore, like a human centipede thing. This was, how did they get the budget for it to start with? And then how could these people...
They got the budget because it's actually not a bad concept and not a bad way of putting a mirror up to society as it was then and is now.
I just kind of feel with the crew not just standing by as they're going, okay, action. I hate you. I really dislike you and you're but we were kids and hey, you were quite cool. It's like, what? Were they not thinking they can't act? I'm wasting all my time doing these practical effects and these fuckers are fucking it up. I could have got an award for this if it was on a different film.
Yeah.
But you've got this Cody dude that can't act. He's the main character. Where's Phoenix?
There's a bit. So they have that argument in his house, like the family have the argument over the drugs. Then he storms out and he looks across the lake or wherever it is.
Oh yeah, we go through.
Stop there. That's what you got to do. But no, he then turns back to camera, looks even more pained, and then looks back out to the lake. It's like, what the fuck is a director? Just look out pensively to the lake. Cut. Move on to the next scene. No. I'm going to look out pensively to the lake.
I got this idea where I look back and then I look back again.
It's like Joey smell the fart acting. It's like, look back, look at the camera, smell the fart. It's just, it's all those bits you just don't need. Make it even more shit.
Yeah. I mean, normally I'd blame, whoever casted it. But at the same time, the directors had, time to say no. He must be involved in the process. And none of them could act. It's not like even, we managed to get budget for the main character and the main actor. He's good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a bit dodgy, but...
Well, they got Keach and McDowell.
For 2 days.
Well, McDowell was 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the rest were around. I mean,
I don't think it was longer than about a week.
No.
but yeah, I just can't forgive it for making me hurt.
Well, that's okay.
I genuinely, the
It
only
pains you that it exists.
I physically felt pain watching it. My head was trying to compute why this film is in existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started watching it just before Sarah went to bed.
And your brain was like,
And the
fuck
next
off,
morning,
I'm not
she's
doing
like-
this, I'm going to play on my phone.
No, I didn't do that. I was like, I stuck with it for a bit. But then, like, the next day, Sarah's like, was that film as bad as it looked? It's like, fuck yes, it was.
Yeah, so that was my take.
No, fair enough. I mean, I agree with both of you. It's just one of those. I think it's one of those. It's a concept I don't think's been explored enough with regard, like an almost a Stepford Teachers.
Well, it's probably not
Can't
allowed
be.
to anymore.
It's like, no, we're not doing that again.
It's killed the genre.
Yeah, no, but like in a kind of Stepford Teachers.
Oh, they did
or
the Aliens
robots.
one, didn't they?
Faculty.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. I think that there's money there, like you say, in the concept and the script treatment. I think if someone done it now, you could get a good series out of it where at the end of season 1 we suddenly realise they're teachers, and then it moves on into season 2, something like that, you know, sort of a 5-part TV event, a bit like they did with the Midwich Cuckoo type thing, rather than like a 20-episode series. I think it's there, but it's not there in this.
No, it's not.
And I mean,
I'll tell you what, there was the only other redeeming feature is the fact that Head Like a Hole's in the
yeah,
background
Great
at one
tune.
point. This was just a great song. Which
But-
also popped up in Waking the Dead the other day. I've been watching. I didn't mention that earlier, but
Well, they
I've been
couldn't get their
watching-
money back from this film, so they probably needed
Yeah.
to include
But yeah,
it.
it pops up in Waking the. Is it no? Yeah, it is Waking the Dead. The
unless you typed it in wrong.
no, definitely Waking the Dead. The TV show from I don't know 20 years ago that was
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Trevor Eve. Anyway,
Okay. But again, you know, Mark Al Lester is a known
This is
director.
the hit. So I mean, I'm not by any stretch of imagination saying Commando is a classic film, but how can you make Commando?
and Firestarter as well.
Yeah, yeah, true. Make two films like that.
Little Tokyo is quite good as well.
I don't think I've seen that.
That was who was in? I think it was something. Was it Brandon Lee and Van Damme or so? It had one. It was one of those where it was like two of the top dudes were going to be in it. You know, like it was like a Hulk Hogan meets Ric
Okay.
Flair kind
So
of thing.
his mistake was moving out of that kind of.
But that again, that might have been
Action.
that might have been after it though. Thinking about it, I'm trying to think what year
Either
they
way,
were.
if you go Commando,
Oh, don't go Commando, Summers.
no, please don't. But you know,
Firestarter was way before though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before
I remember that being quite a good movie.
yeah, that's not a
film.
bad movie. But as I say, Commando's not a classic by any stretch of imagination, but it's a damn good film. The you know.
I mean, there's some dodgy bits in it, but it's
Yeah.
a good action film.
It's a good action film, you
For
know,
what
the
it
one
is.
man against the,
Yeah.
you know, and the way he dispatches of people and all that. And that actually, direction-wise and acting-wise, bearing in mind this is Schwarzenegger before he really got his acting chops together, he's gone from that to this.
Yeah.
So, you know,
But then,
does that
you know, if
mean
you
that
get
the
hired-
actors in...
If you get hired for a job though, and that's the cast you've been given, maybe.
But he wasn't. He didn't we say he wrote this and...
Oh yeah, it's his thing. Yeah, but it doesn't mean he funded it, does it? It's his vision and his thing. But you can only
Yeah, but if you wrote it, you've got some say. And
yeah,
if
you've
you're-
got some say.
If you're a
but,
director,
like,
In
you've got
most
some say.
senses you do.
It's
but-
not Star Wars. You know, it's not like the production company are there saying, "No, you're doing it."
Yeah, he's got to have
some.
some say in the
Yeah.
in the
well,
casting.
you'd like to think so.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
I mean-
actually. I don't,
Any director worth his chops will be at a casting. Will be at the cast. You know, even if it's because they, you know, with loads of films, the casting people will cast someone, and then they'll do screen tests with the director, and if the director
but-
says no.
But don't forget, some of these sort of films are the ones where, again, like you say, that was his thing. But some of these are the ones where you come in and it's like, oh, we've already done a week's shooting, but you need to take this over now. Or
you're giving him too much.
credit.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe.
you are.
But what was it you were going to say about the budget? Because you went, no, I'll say that at the end.
No, a lot. Oh, sorry.
You
I don't remember now.
'cause I said,
I thought you were going to say that
budget,
actually a lot of the cult films that we've done make a little bit back. This lost 2.5 mil on the box office taking.
This film doesn't have any redeeming features
Cool.
at all.
I didn't make it.
No, but no. So like, there's films that are classed.
It's not
as,
even quotable, is it?
It's not quotable.
What? How can you say that? Your history.
Your history, exactly. But you just
Your
there's just
toast.
You used to be. You were cool back then.
none of it. There's just nothing. I just cannot go on. I could be here all night shouting, ranting into this.
Please, no.
Okay, then. So that brings us to our next bit. Out of 10, please, Damien.
So I am determined that this scores lower than Jesus Shows You the Way to the Highway,
Which is a great film.
which
Shite.
I didn't necessarily enjoy that, but I, as a piece of art, it's actually because Jesus Shows You the Highway is more than just. It's supposed to be more than just a film, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's there's a lot more going on in
Yeah.
it. It's a
I forgot about that film.
yeah,
Fuck.
but there's a lot more going on in that. I'm not going to give it a 1 just purely because I did enjoy the practical effects in it made it not bearable, because it still wasn't bearable, but it took the edge off slightly of my extremely bad mood that it put me in. So I'm giving it a 2.
Where's the other one coming from?
It's one. Well, that's a good point. No, I'm going to stick with 2 because the effects. I say the effects alone are worth a 2.
Okay, Paul.
So I was giving it 2. One for the effects and one for some reason they got 9 Inch Nails as part of the fucking soundtrack.
But again, he probably agreed to that on the plot alone. Because, that's the sort of thing we're into. Yeah.
So this is well, yeah. The we
we want your song for the
they were to
film.
give me the treatment to this
Yeah.
film, I'd go, yeah, shit, yeah. That sounds like that's a really good
Yeah.
concept.
I want my I want my song in that film.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
So you're going for a 2. Any other fun comments on it?
No, I just want to forget about it now.
Oh, sounds sad. I'm going to go for a 2. Because, again, point for 9 Inch Nails and a point for the concept. No, actually, can I go 3? Sorry. Point for 9 Inch Nails, a point for the concept, and a point for the practical effects.
Yep, you can do that.
Because, on paper, it could have been something really special. But it didn't quite get there, did it?
No, it
No,
didn't.
no, it did not.
And I await the... See, this is a film that should be remade.
Yes.
Shut
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And we've always said this.
Yeah.
Don't remake classics or
Remake-
high revenue
remake
films.
A shit film.
Remake shit
Yeah.
films and make them better.
Yeah. Okay.
This is something that deserves to be remade. Or a nice little mini-series, as
Yeah.
I say. At the end of series 1, you go, wait a minute, what? It was the teachers and their robots.
Yeah.
Doof, doof,
But then they did that
doof,
in the
doof,
faculty. Well, no,
doof,
can't
doof.
remember now. In the faculty, are we let in on that pretty much straight away, or is it a little bit later?
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I've seen that.
yeah. Same. I saw it
Is
once at
is
the
it
cinema. I haven't seen it
Brolin?
since. No, I don't
it
think.
just
No. This
Brolin?
is around the same time as like the American Pie, so it's all that generation. of-
90210 era, isn't it?
No, it's a little bit after that. I'm sure it's not long after
I thought-
American
is
Pie.
it just-
One of the
I wanna say
Oh, well,
Josh-
who's
not
the-
Josh
who-
Brolin? The dude.
oh god, we're going to be here half an hour now while he tries to think of this.
No, I'm looking.
He's
Please
done
do.
that weird film where he was like a time traveling detective, and it ends with his sort of weird death.
Jordana Brewster, Clea Duval.
Isn't Terminator in it? Terminator 2 guy.
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett.
Oh,
that's who
right,
I was
yeah.
thinking of.
It's got the one from American Beauty who was in the Weezer video. Not Weezer.
Or Fonz.
No, not Weezer. Who am I thinking of? Teenage Dirtbag.
Salma Hayek's in it.
Oh yeah.
Famke
Yeah.
Janssen.
I'm sure she's in the faculty.
That's what I just said.
I don't know her name.
I
You know what I'm like with
American
names.
Beauty, in it.
Robert-
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Patrick's in it.
Yeah, Robert Patrick's in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
That's
different
a different
film.
film. Elijah Wood's in it.
Oh yeah.
When you go back, Elijah Wood's been in everything. You just didn't know it was Elijah Wood at the time.
Well,
He's even in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
He was in Back to the Future too,
Oh yeah. But yeah,
along with Billy Zane.
yeah,
Anyway,
he's a cool guy. 3 for me.
3. Okay. So do you want to know where that puts it?
please be
Yeah.
at the bottom.
It's not quite at the bottom.
Fuck.
It is second from bottom. 1 point. It came out on 7 points. 1 point above Death Ship.
Oh no, that was shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little
Is
pattern.
Death Ship's still the bottom of what we watched?
Well,
Yeah.
at least this was all its own film, as opposed to Death Ship, which was bits of stock footage
Yeah.
over and over again. There we go, Summers.
Okay then. So again, that scoreboard will at one point be available on the website
Yeah.
when we manage to get it all together. 'Cause there's still a few gaps.
Yeah,
I think
you
Dave's
guys
trying
need to
plug.
listen to some podcasts back because I've had enough of doing it.
But yeah. So that's the class of 1999, and that is finished this week. Now next episode, we turn to Damien. No, we turn to Paul, I believe.
Yes.
It's 'cause you went like that and then you shook your head. So I was like, you threw me. So, Paul, what's your choice going to be?
I didn't know whether to be nice to you or nasty, but I thought, well, I need to watch the next film as well. So I'm going to be nice.
Ooh.
So you mentioned Elijah Wood being in pretty much every film. I'm going to raise you. So
I thought you were going for fucking Lord of the Rings or something then.
I hope not.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I
so
haven't got that much time.
No, that's when the veto would definitely
Yeah.
come in.
I said I was going to be nice to you guys. So I'm going to try and lift our spirits up after Class of 1999 and give you a film with a person that's probably been in millions of films.
Kevin Bacon.
Michael Ironside.
Alan Tudyk.
Ooh.
And he plays a person called Tucker. I'm taking us back to 2010, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, because I think we could do with a bit of a laugh.
Oh, that's cool. I've got that, so that's all right.
Yeah, it's also on Amazon for not much, £3.50, the usual job.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. You made me fucking pay.
Yeah, I know.
I had to pay to watch
Yeah.
fucking Class
I
of
had to pay to
1999.
watch Space Midgets in Time. what
Yeah,
it
but
was
at
called.
least that's a good film.
This is on my fucking history,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
Amazon-
it.
you-
Oh, because you watched
Yeah, Amazon's going to
1999,
recommend any old dodgy
Yeah.
shit. But yeah,
you're going to
anyway,
like space nymphs from Lithuania or some shit like that.
Tucker,
Well, that
and
sounds
Dale,
quite good.
Yeah.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil, 2010.
I'm just glad I paid for the standard definition version and not the HD version.
Oh, no.
Save myself £2 there.
I don't think there would have been much difference.
No, exactly.
His eyes glowed more.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Paul.
Nice.
So it's available on Amazon.
Yeah, it's probably $3.50,
Yeah, that's about
but
right.
at least this one's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got it anyway somewhere.
I've got it somewhere, yeah. Cool. So that's next week's episode.
Not next week. So I think it's worth mentioning.
Next episode. We are looking at, due to scheduling and timing and all that stuff at the moment, and the battles against the real world outside of the studio.
And the fact we just don't trust Brett with his recommendations anymore.
You've never trusted me. Warwick. I'm here keeping it real.
It'll be that high school one where they're next to a bloody radioactive plant or something next.
Greece.
No, and
Greece too.
anyway.
No, yeah. And I forgot what I was going to say now. Yeah, so we are currently moving fortnightly for the foreseeable future. We'll still be around. All the latest news and views and reviews are still available at our mothership, cultfaction.com. If you wish to contact us about the podcast and tell us how right or wrong we were about Class of 1999 or any other
you tell us we're
things,
wrong, I'm looking for you.
or you've got
Yeah.
any other suggestions, you can email us at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com or leave a comment under the bottom.
remember
And like and
subscribe and other stuff, and keep an eye out and interact on our social media. we want to be more interactive with you guys.
Interactive-y?
Do we?
Interactive-y. Yeah, it's a verb. And so please do that, and we'll join in on things, and it'll be fun. And we'll have a fun little community, just like all the classmates in 1999.
Yeah, reconnect with that guy you thought that was cool that you really hate now. Just do that over our Facebook page.
Yeah, don't go to war.
I mean, yeah. So we finished on the class of 1999. Now a film that was so cool. Prince wrote a song about it. But we now end our episode this week. So it's a goodbye from me, Brad Summers.
It's goodbye from me, Paul Hawkins.
And it's a goodbye from me, Damien Hicks.
We'll see you in detention. Farewell.
Stomp your feet and turn around. Reach for the sky, now touch the ground. To the pingu.
Do the pingu dance.
To the pingu. Now we may look different, but we're all the same. Just different bodies with different names. We all have and we all have
Superman.
Yeah. Bow.
I still have flashbacks and nightmares about.
So fuck you lot.
Oh, blah blah blah. Boom, Stracon. Stracon? What the fuck is Stracon? Wrestlers in films.
Arsene Idaho.
Banging them out.
The what?